presents NCAA football. The Oklahoma Sooners versus the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet. Chevrolet is USA 1, and USA 1 is taking charge. And by Sears, Roebuck & Company. You can count on Sears.
A battle for the right to go to the Orange Bowl. The Big 8 championship on the line. And Steve Davis, you've said something very interesting about this game. It's very similar, you think, to 1971.
There are some things that have changed. The 30-95 rule, limitation of scholarships, and the quality of depth has certainly changed. But the fact in 1971, there were two great offenses going at each other. The same is true here today. And it really is a battle of the two big, super offenses going at each other.
We have the number 1 and 2 rushing teams in the country. That's going to test the defense.
Well, I think I'd like to say that I have some complicated plan on what's going to happen, but basically it's a game of keep away. Keep the ball away from each other's potent offenses. The pressure is on the defense today. They're going to have to play a real tough. They're going to eliminate the big plays that their great offenses have.
Marcus Dupree of Oklahoma, probably the best freshman running back in the country. They had to utilize his ability. They went to the I formation, and they haven't lost since.
Well, I think what they've done with Oklahoma, they've gotten the pressure off the quarterback is one thing. The other thing, they've given the ball to their best backs. And then the third thing, they've been able to minimize their turnovers because they're not in a high-risk offense. Marcus is not a mature athlete right now. He's not a good practice player, but he's extremely powerful, and he is a big play man for Oklahoma.
He has 6 runs of over 50 yards in distance. That would substantiate what you said about being a big play performer. Mike Rozier of Nebraska is the Big 8 Conference Player of the Year. Oklahoma has told us he's the best they've faced since Earl Campbell.
Well, you think about it, Oklahoma's played some great players. They've had to go against Marcus Allen. They've had to go against Earl Campbell and some of the others, Tony Dorsett. But Rozier, they say, in the Nebraska scheme of offense, is the most commanding player on the field. They think maybe the best football player in college football doing what he does in this offense. He punishes people.
He had a high of 251 yards this year. In only 2 games did he fail to get at least 100 yards. The emotion of this game. Let's find out about it. The Big 8 Defensive Player of the Year, Rick Bryan of Oklahoma, and the 2-time Outland Trophy winner, Dave Remington, gave us their thoughts about today's game.
It has to be the biggest game this season for Oklahoma Sooners because, you know, it's for the Big 8 championship. It's for the Orange Bowl. You know, last year we played some big games, but for these guys on this team, this is the biggest game because, you know, we haven't ourselves won a Big 8 championship.
Well, it's an important game for us, and it's an important series. We've been playing Oklahoma for the championship ever since I've been here, 5 years, and it's for the right to go down to Miami, Florida, and get out away from this cold into the sunshine. So we're looking forward to the game, and hopefully we'll come up on top.
Well, it is cold here today. Now, we talked about the fact 2 outstanding rushing teams, but the passing, a lot different between these 2 clubs.
What Nebraska's been able to do because of their explosive offense is get football teams early out of their game plan where they would have to throw the ball against their defense. And so, really, Nebraska's had the advantage on defense. So we don't know about their defense how good. Passing-wise, Oklahoma's not very good at throwing the ball. They're 97th out of 97 1A schools, and they really cannot afford to get behind Nebraska. They are not a catch-up football team.
Well, they threw their first touchdown pass 2 weeks ago against Missouri. The kicking game in a close series always seems to come to the fore.
All big games always come down to kicking game, and I think the big point is that Nebraska has an outstanding punt return, kick return team, and the other thing is Oklahoma's not very good. They're not kicking very well.
Boy, the excitement is mounting here. We're going to be back to bring the teams on the field in just a moment. Nebraska Cornhuskers have come onto the playing surface of Memorial Stadium. 75,000 on hand. The 63rd meeting between the two. It's about 29 degrees at kickoff time, and the wind, which swirls around Memorial Stadium, can really be a problem as we await the entry now of the Sooners of Oklahoma. Last year, Nebraska winning in Norman 37-14, and here comes Oklahoma. So the Oklahoma Sooners, who started so slowly this year. They were 1-2 early. The worst start they had had since 1968. They went to the I formation. They have not lost since. And the Sooners come in here underdogs. The loser today will go to the Fiesta Bowl. The winner, the Big 8 championship. A trip to the Orange Bowl. It's a shootout. Oklahoma against Nebraska. Memorial Stadium, Lincoln, Nebraska. Oklahoma, Nebraska, represented by their captains, now at the center of the field.
25 years, there's not a turkey out here 25 years.
Vance Carlson is a referee for this game, and this is his last game, and both teams are presenting him with a game ball.
Good and better things, is that right?
Let's listen to it.
We do have a super day for football. It's our privilege as officials. I'd like to point this out. After 25 years, I think I speak for all the officials in the country, the dedication that they have, and we have nothing but respect for you as players and you as captains. Do you understand that? Okay. We'll allow Oklahoma to call the toss. Who's going to do that, please? All right. Let's see. You hold that for me. All right. All right. A lineman, do they ever fumble?
No.
Okay. You'll call it in the air, heads, tails. If I drop it, I'll throw it up again. Here we go.
Tails.
Already calls tails, and it's heads. Nebraska wins. That means you'll receive. Okay? You make your choice. Turn around this way, please. Nebraska wins the toss, chose to receive. You may have this as the man of the game. Best of luck to all of you. Keep rolling, LeBuck.
Vance Carlson, who's from McPherson, Kansas, and his last game as a referee and the Big 8 crew, and that was kind of a special toss of the coin. You don't see that happen very often.
He is one of the class people in the conference of the officials, and really, he's called a few penalties on me before, so I have a lot of respect for Vance. Very humor guy out on the field, keeps the game going, really a positive person.
And the two men you saw, Barry Switzer, Tom Osborne, both of them coming in here in their 10th year as coaches, and there's the temperature, 29 degrees. That wind, it's 10 miles per hour, but it's really a deceiving wind. It swirls around in this bowl at Memorial Stadium. And you can feel the emotion. You can feel the excitement. This is one of the special games in NCAA football, and we're just glad to be bringing it to you on CBS. The man to kick off is going to be Michael Keeling. He did not kick in the last game as he sprained his ankle, and he's going to kick without a shoe or sock. And at 29 degrees temperature, that's got to be a challenge. Back deep is Irving Fryer and Jeff Smith for the Cornhuskers. Fryer is number 27. Smith was 28. And here we go. Keeling out of Dallas, Texas, a senior. The 63rd meeting is underway, and boy, he got into that one. Smith will have no chance to bring that one out. They'll have the touchback, and they'll begin at the 20-yard line. Offensively, for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, a #1 rushing team in the country, almost 400 yards a game. They are directed by Turner Gill. He's all Big 8. Rozier, as we mentioned, the Big 8 Conference Player of the Year. And up front, this is the best offensive line that Tom Osborne has had. Mandelko, Remington, Steinkühler, and Tice, all conference performers this year from the 20. Here comes Rozier. There was some question whether he would start or whether they would go with Roger Craig. He's at about 80% efficiency. He picks up 3 yards. Jackie Shipp with a stop. And now let's look at the defense of Oklahoma. Kevin Murphy, all Big 8. Rick Ryan, the Big 8 Defensive Player of the Year. Blake's got a real challenge with Dave Remington today. Shipp, also all conference this year. And that secondary, they have a change. Daryl Sanji will not be starting. They will move Drain out to the corner spot. 2nd down and 7, Rozier. Rozier across the 25 to the 26. The junior from Camden, New Jersey. 15 touchdowns rushing this year. Bob Slater making the stop. They're bundled up here, but this is one of the traditions when you play around Thanksgiving. It's cold, but it's very clear today. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 4 yards to go. Wilkening, number 34. Rozier in the backfield behind Turner Gill. Gill with time. Almost intercepted. Todd Brown, the intended receiver, and almost picked off that time by Dwight Drain, the man we mentioned, starting at the cornerback spot, after usually, Steve, he plays strong safety.
As a result of Darryl Sanji not being able to play today, that's why Drain's in the ball game. Watch this. Turner Gill across the middle to 29, Todd Brown. Oklahoma's going to be much more aggressive on defense. They're going to see some 8-man fronts and let Nebraska have to really feel pressure all day.
Grant Campbell, number 24, will be kicking. Marcus Dupree is back now for Oklahoma. Campbell is going to be short. A fair catch is called for by Scott Case. The ball is loose. And coming up with it is Nebraska. Break in the early going. That was a 30-yard kick. The fumble by Case sets it up now at the Oklahoma 44-yard line. Turner Gill will send Brown to the bottom of the screen. Wilkening, Rozier in the backfield. Gill on the option. Inside the 40. He's to the 38-yard line. Jackie Shipp, the all-Big 8 performer, the leading tackler for Oklahoma, over to make the stop. Turner Gill, he's the big difference in this team. He was heavily recruited by Oklahoma out of Fort Worth, Texas. Ended up at Nebraska, the all-Big 8 performer. The offense hinges on him. The team has great confidence in his ability. Second down and 4. Up the middle, the fullback, Wilkening. Wilkening, who they consider to be the best blocking fullback that Tom Osborne has ever had. Looks like he may have a first down. Let's see where they mark it. It will be a first down for the Cornhuskers. Well, that break early in a big game like this, Steve.
Oklahoma accomplished what they wanted to. Scott Case has the ball. It just gets out of him. He's kind of trying to concentrate, falling forward, drops the ball. You cannot afford to have those kind of turnovers. They had Nebraska punting the ball. They had them what they wanted doing.
And now a first down at the 33, trying to capitalize on the turnover. Gill on the option again, and this time he's dropped at the 31. Good reaction by Kevin Murphy. Murphy is just a sophomore and an all-Big 8 performer from Plano, Texas. They feel he could be the best they've ever had at defensive end. So it's going to bring up second down and 8. That is being prepared for the elements. Steinkuhler now comes out of the ball game. Steinkuhler, the only junior in that offensive line. Kurt Glather has replaced him. Wilkening, Rozier still in the backfield. Second down, 8. Brown split to the bottom of the screen, out of your view right now. Gill off to Rozier, and down he goes. It'll bring up third down now, and they may have lost a yard on that play. Third down, virtually 10 yards to go for the Huskers. This Nebraska team averaging over 395 yards rushing. Steve, there's only been 3 teams in history average over 400. 2 of them were from Oklahoma and 1 from UCLA.
Nebraska's got an outstanding rushing team. Oklahoma's approach today is to try to assault Nebraska, try to give them a lot of pressure and make them do some things out of character with what they've done all year.
Third down, 10 yards to go. Gill back to throw. He gets away with the quickness, and he's to the 25-yard line. He's going to be short of the first down. Scott Case over and stopped him short of that first down. Gill about 2 yards short. There shows you the quickness of Gill. He was in real trouble at the start of that play.
Nebraska's had some outstanding quarterbacks over the years. I think of Jerry Taggy. I think of David Hum, Vince Ferragamo. But Turner Gill personifies. He's really the prototype of a Nebraska quarterback because he's able to give them an extra dimension. He scrambles, uses his tremendous speed, and makes something happen on the outside. That's the kind of quarterback Nebraska's longed for. They went to the option about 4 or 5 years ago. He's made all the difference in the world in this offense.
They're going for it on fourth down and a long one. Just inside the 25-yard line. Everybody in tight. In motion is Fryer. Pitch. Rozier. Oh, is he hit? But I believe he may have enough for the first down. Jackie Shipp just straightened him up. The junior from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Rozier, on the other hand, he usually delivers a punishing blow, but that time he took a real shot. Let's see if they're going to have to measure. They will, to see if they have the first down. What a hit that time by Shipp. If you analyze these two teams, Steve, it's believed that Nebraska has a better offense, but Oklahoma has a better defense.
Oklahoma's played much improved defense all year long, because what's happened when they got out of the wishbone, Nebraska gets the 1st and 10. When they got out of the wishbone, the team was not turning the ball over in really improper areas. It made the difference in the world, and so that's the pressure. Let's watch Rozier here on the stick. Watch Jackie Shipp, 49, the linebacker. I never told you, Gary, this was going to be a kind of a patty-type game. It's a very physical football game.
I saw some of those highlights where you took a few shots, but the coaches said that this may be one of the most, if not the most, physical game that they've had in this outstanding series. On a first down, Gill gets a block from Rozier. Back it comes to Jamie Williams. He's hit immediately. The ball is loose, but it's been blown dead. That was Scott Case. I think Case is trying to redeem himself a little bit after that mishandled punt, as he reacted on that throwback to Williams, and Williams really belted. They're going to bring up 2nd down 10, ruled incomplete. Williams, an all Big 8 tight end. He had 19 catches coming into this contest. The line of scrimmage, the 23. Pryor goes to the top of the screen. Todd Brown to the bottom. Nebraska trying to capitalize on a fumbled punt. Here's Rozier to the 20. And the big junior holds the ball to the 17. Rick Bryan made the stop. There's a case again of not a lot of running room, but Rozier is so strong, he just moves the pile forward.
As we said in the pregame, the coaches felt like that Rozier, for what he does in the offense of Nebraska, he really is one of the most complete backs in the country. They think he might be the best back in the country for what he's able to do in the offense that he's in. He is so powerful, so punishing. A great back, punishes you and explodes through the tackle.
3rd and 4 now. Pryor in motion. Gill looked like he would pitch to him, turns it up to the 14, and that is going to be about a yard short of the first down. Bob Slater, number 68, made the stop for Oklahoma.
You're running the option play against a team that's seen a lot of option. Oklahoma knows how to defense it. Turner Gill's got some indecision. Watch him. It's good play on the corners by Kevin Murphy. Indecision. The pursuit's going to catch him. Good execution of the option, but better execution on defense.
It's taking a lot of time. A timeout now called by Nebraska. Tom Osborne will talk things over as we have 9:45 to go in the first quarter. There's no score from Memorial Stadium in Lincoln.
Paulatuck, the Arctic Circle, the winter's canopy.
Well, for the second time in this first quarter, Nebraska has a 4th down. Last time they were able to convert on it. This time, 4th down a yard. They're 0 for 3 on 3rd down conversions, but 1 of 1 on 4th down. 2 tight ends, Williams and Crank, have now checked in for Nebraska. On 4th and 1, Gill keeps it. Gill's got a pass to the goal line. Touchdown.
People up in the line of scrimmage. They were man-on-man drain on the split receiver. Gill sees that. Good coverage on the split receiver. He was trying to throw. He just jumps through the hole and makes the score.
And the Oranges have come on the playing surface here. They're going to have to hold up the game. I don't need to tell you what that's symbolic of. That's not oranges. Those are balloons. But they have thrown some oranges on the field, especially on the end where Gill went in for the touchdown. And Gill, that shows you how he can just tear a defense apart. It looked like they had it defensed well. Point after now, Kevin Seibel. Seibel, who hit 68 straight before missing in the last game, which is a Nebraska record. That drive, 44 yards, 9 plays. Gill has 34 yards on 5 carries. Seibel hit it. 7-0. 7-0 our score. 9:39 to go, first quarter. that point after by Seibel of Nebraska, the penalty flag was thrown, and Oklahoma had 12 men on the field. Barry Switzer probably wishes he had 12 on that last drive.
This is the pressure that Turner Gill puts on defenses. Oklahoma's playing very tight inside. They've got single coverage man. He sees the seam, the gap, and is able to get in the end zone. Previous Nebraska quarterbacks, Tom Sorley was a good running quarterback, but outside of Tom and a few others, Jeff Quinn, Nebraska's never had the running dimension at the quarterback spot that Turner Gill gives them.
Well, you look at the Ferragamos and the Huns. They were the straight drop-back type passer. That was a 15-yard penalty for having 12 men on the field, and this is going to be a chip shot. There's Turner Gill, the 14-yard touchdown run. Gill this year has thrown for 11, over 376 yards rushing. Now, let's see if they would try an onside on this. Seibel kicking from the 45 of Oklahoma after the 15-yard penalty. You can see the man at the bottom of the picture. He's very close. Let's see if they kick it his way. Here they shift over. And here it comes. Oklahoma comes up with it very effectively. And at the 34-yard line, David Carter, who's a wide receiver, comes up with it. There is a penalty flag. That's a tough play to make, but they had the man in there with the good hands. Carter was able to field it very effectively, being dropped at the 34-yard line. And the penalty now.
Good.
We have a personal foul against Nebraska and also against Oklahoma. So we'll just start from where the ball is right now.
I saw a blur, and there was a confrontation after the tackle, and it was a response by both players.
Foul. Personal foul. Nebraska. Personal foul. Oklahoma. First down.
I don't know if we ever said, do these teams like each other very much?
They respect each other.
Another orange came on the playing surface. Let's see if we can pick it up.
It's going to happen off to the right. Someone makes, there's the tackle. It's a clean tackle, but there's a late hit later on.
Dupree on a first down. Dupree running from the 34, brings it out to the 39-yard line. Oklahoma now needs to steady themselves. One thing we mentioned in the top of the show is they're not a good catch-up football team. They can't get too far in the rear.
As I said in the pregame, they're the 97th out of 97 passing teams in college football 1A. They cannot come back and throw the football. They have not proven it.
Second down. 5 yards to go. Kelly Phelps gives to Dupree again. And Dupree is going to be about a yard short. Make that Stanley Wilson. Wilson the fullback. And they're going to be a yard short of the first down. There's Kelly Phelps, the senior out of Oklahoma City. Dupree, Wilson. What a performer he's been. Last year in this game, he had 164 yards. And up front, Parker's their best lineman. He's all Big 8. Thomas made the second team. There's Dupree. Third down, a yard. Dupree, he's got it. They try to strip the ball, but he's able to hang on. Now, wait a minute. Nebraska's indicating it was loose, but it's been blown dead. Oklahoma has a first down at the 49. Boy, they were trying to strip the ball from Dupree on that play.
One of the things that Tom Osborne said about Marcus, that he did not feel like that Marcus was a mature back. He's a young freshman. He's not a great practice player. He only practiced about 6 times his senior year out of Philadelphia, Mississippi. And so in the college level, the university level, he's had to work much harder. So he's got to get mentally tougher.
He's tough now. Can you imagine what it'd be like after spring football? First down for the Sooners. Dupree to the 45, to the 40, and he may have another first down, and there's some of the toughness they're looking for. He took on the tackler, Neil Harris, that time.
I said physically, mentally he wasn't so tough. Physically, he's very tough.
233 pounds. Defensively, Weber, a sophomore, playing well. Now, Toby Williams, we'll have to watch, see how much he plays. He has a bad knee. If he can't go, Tom Godowski would replace him. Cam Kroger is all Big 8, their leading tackler. He's 6 tackles short of a career record here. And back deep, they're very young, but they're vastly improving the secondary of Nebraska. That was a first down run by Marcus Dupree. It sets it up at the 39-yard line. in the ball game is Philip Shores. He's flipped to the bottom. He's a senior from Inglewood, California. Wilson straight ahead. They're very concerned about Wilson. We've said a lot about Dupree, but every time we talked about Oklahoma, Tom Osborne brought up the name of Stanley Wilson.
Oklahoma's I formation is still so similar to the wishbone concept. They still feel like they have to establish the fullback play and the quarterback play. And Stanley Wilson really personifies the fullback, the wishbone fullback. The fullback and the wishbone concept or I concept of Oklahoma is much different. He carries the ball more in the Oklahoma style than Nebraska.
He's fourth all time on the Oklahoma rushing list. On second down and 6, Dupree. Look at him move the pile. The freshman brings the ball to the 31-yard line. It'll be a couple of yards short of the first down. Dupree running behind an offensive line that's very young. Sophomore center, a sophomore tackle, a junior guard. There's a man that's not very young. He is a veteran. He may be the finest center to ever play the football game. The pros are waiting for him. Dupree, 756 yards. Remember now, he didn't start until the 3 games had already expired. I think he gained 20 yards in the first 3 games. So those stats are impressive. Third down, a long 3. Dupree, and I don't believe he has a first down. Well, let's see if they go for it on 4th down. Nebraska did on 2 occasions. Scott Strausberger made the stop, a sophomore from Holdridge, Nebraska. 4th down, and it's less than a yard to go.
4th down and 1. The ball is on the 29.
Oklahoma, a decision now being made, and they're sending in wide receiver Paul Fluid.
I would assume that Oklahoma would go for it. As we said in the pregame, they've not been consistent in the kicking game. They've had their problems in being consistent kicking field goals long distances.
There we go. 4th and less than a yard. Dupree, and he has it. Marcus Dupree. Leg drive, bringing the ball to the 28-yard line. Steve McWhirter made the stop. So both these teams, Steve, on 4th down have been very successful.
Marcus is such a physical specimen. He's so, so strong, 6'3", 220. And just uses his power and his leg strength. And they say when he grows up, he's going to be a player.
First down now, setting the ball up at the 27, almost the 28-yard line. They go to the bone this time, the wishbone. Phelps to the 25. Phelps with a good effort to the 22-yard line. Tony Felici, an all-Big 8 performer, making the stop. Delly Phelps has had one of those years where he has not thrown the ball all that effectively. He's had some injury problems, but that time doing a very good job of picking up 6 yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 4.
The Oklahoma coaches felt like they would go to the wishbone early to at least make sure that Nebraska was handling the offense the way they've done it in the past. They have forced most wishbone teams out of the offense.
Wilson to the 20, to the 15. He's got some room. 10, 5, and he is going to go out at the 1. That was great effort. A 21-yard run. He was stopped dead still at the line of scrimmage and still continued on. He's been shaken up on the play.
Watch him change direction. He gets bogged down inside. Merrill stands up the center. Chuck Thomas, he bounces outside. This is where he uses his quickness. He felt like he could be a halfback in the wishbone. He got his wish. Oklahoma changed offenses. He goes back to the fullback position where he really needs to be.
Well, it's been said by Barry Switzer that had they not asked him to go to that fullback spot, he probably would be one of the leading rushers in the country. Would have had a couple of 200-yard days. So they look over Wilson. We'll be back. Oklahoma has it 1st and goal at the 2.
At last.
Sports. Barry Switzer went over and gave Stanley Wilson a pat on the top of the helmet after that 21-yard run. Setting it up now. 1st and goal just outside the 1-yard line. 7-0 Nebraska leads. Dupree over the top, and he's not going to make it. A real jam in the middle. Nebraska defensively does not have the great speed, but traditionally they'll hit you. They did on that play. So they'll have to retool. It'll be second and goal. They're actually lost a little on that play. They're back out now nearer to the 2-yard line. It will be the 2. The play's being shuttled in through the wide receiver spot most of the time. David Carter was shaken up on that kickoff, and they've been bringing Shores and Clueless in with the plays. Here they go with a wishbone. Belt pitches back. Dupree, touchdown. Marcus Dupree. That's his 12th touchdown rushing this year.
Really, Oklahoma gets everything sealed off to the outside. It's Marcus Dupree in a sprint. Nobody's going to catch Marcus. The most highly recruited athlete last year out of the class of '82, the senior class. Watch him. Good option play, just a good pitch by Kelly. Saw the quick slant by the Nebraska defense inside. Marcus, touchdown.
Marcus Dupree makes it 7-6. Point after by Keeling, and it's all even. 7-all. And so this shootout starting out in very impressive fashion. We have 5:04 to go in the first quarter. It's 7-all.
In good hands.
That 65-yard drive after the onside attempt by Nebraska. And Oklahoma's tied it up. There's Dupree. Give a little help there. What's that, some stickum they put on? Thought you weren't supposed to do that. Keeling kicking off. Fryer is back deep along with Smith. This will be Fryer. Fryer, the fastest player on this Nebraska team. He'll make it out to the 22-yard line. 21-yard return. There is Keeling. I would get over, I think, and get that sock and shoe on in a hurry. He's not doing very well as far as running is concerned after injuring that ankle. It was not his kicking leg, but the other one. There's a drive, 4:35, an impressive drive. Interestingly enough, Steve, they went to the wishbone to get it in, and that's in a dimension that's hard to prepare for. Look at this. Penn State defeated Pittsburgh 19-10. Boy, the Nittany Lions handing Nebraska their only setback this year. Here's Rozier. Rozier breaks out to the 35, 40, 45, and he's to the midfield stripe. 27-yard run, and he almost took that one all the way.
What a game of offense. Watch the offensive line. They wall everybody off. He's got Wilkinson, the fullback, breaking through. He loses his balance just a little bit, breaks into the secondary. Oklahoma's trying to play more aggressive on defense. One man, and he breaks it all the way.
Scott Case eventually was able to hang on to one leg. Just short of the 50-yard line, first down. Back they come with Mike again. Rozier in now to the Oklahoma end of the field. To the 47. Kevin Murphy made the stop. You know, you're always hesitant to think you'd have a high-scoring game with so much emotion. But statistically, you would think they would, the way these teams have been moving the ball all year long. Nebraska averaging over 42 points a game. That's #1 in the country. An offensive line up front, big, strong Tom Osborne feels that what really made them good this year was the weightlifting. They hit the weights very faithfully. Second down, Gill on a keeper. Gill has a first down across the 40. Darrell Goodlow made the stop, and the quickness of Turner Gill once again. (7-7) our score. Oklahoma mishandled a punt. Nebraska took it in. They were able to score on a Turner Gill 14-yard keeper. Then on a 65-yard drive, Dupree tied it up 7-7. Thus far, Gill has 42 yards on 6 carries. That's a 7-yard per carry average. Rozier again. Rozier hammers it close to the 30-yard line. Jackie Shipp. Boy, they're just winding him up right now and sending him at Oklahoma's defense. That'll be another first down for Nebraska. Dave Remington is outstanding. Let's watch him.
Dave Remington, watch him right here. He's working against John Blake. John's much shorter than he is. He just scrambles. All Remington did that time, he kind of went to his knees. He lost his feet, but Dave is truly one of the greatest centers to ever play the game.
Rozier now has 8 carries, 50 yards. He's now second all-time on the Nebraska rushing list, including ahead of Rick Burns. Turner Gill back to throw. Open over the middle. Fryer. And Fryer runs out of room. Defending on the play was Steve Hayworth, who many of the pro scouts will say is their best pro prospect for Oklahoma. It's going to bring up a third down. Third down, a yard to go. Roger Craig now comes in, replacing Rozier. Craig, an outstanding performer in his own right, but he's been slowed by the nagging injuries. Third down, a yard. Todd Brown goes split to the top. Wokening, Craig in the backfield. Here is Craig. Craig has a first down. It's fumbled. Roger Craig with his first effort of the afternoon. And Oklahoma has recovered. So 2 turnovers in this football game. Coming up with the ball was John Blake, the nose guard, a senior from Tulsa. And Blake has a battle on his hands. Looks like we have a man shaken up on the play as he's going against Dave Remington.
First down and 10, Oklahoma on their own 27-yard line.
Let's go back now, reconstruct that fumble.
What's Roger Craig, number 21. It's a pit sweep. It's the classic Nebraska sweep, an inside sweep, not like the USC type sweep. Watch this. He gets the ball stripped away right here. Looks like it was Hayworth that makes the tackle. Ball's a scramble. Minimize turnovers.
Boy, the hitting. There's the man that was shaken up, Scott Case, who transferred from Northeast Oklahoma Junior College. He is probably the biggest reason for their secondary improvement. Coming over from the junior college ranks, maybe playing as well as anybody back there.
He's really excellent instincts of the football. He's been the most consistent player all year for Oklahoma in the secondary.
So the turnover gets the ball to Oklahoma out at the 26-yard line. In motion goes Steve Sewell. Dupree has an opening. That's all he needs as he uses it to the 32. Brett Clark, a sophomore from Nebraska City, Nebraska, making the tackle. He's the most improved player. There's Rozier. Rozier went out for that one play. Craig came in, fumbled the ball. Rozier is having a lot of leg difficulty, and they were concerned all week long how effective he would be, but he's been effective thus far. David Carter now has come back in. He was shaken up earlier in the ball game. He split out. Wilson, Dupree, and this is Sewell in motion for the Sooners. Phelps to Dupree. And Dupree late drives it to the 35. Steve Damkroger, the captain defensively for Nebraska. Coming in here 6 short of the school record set by Jerry Murtaugh. They say he's an all-timer from the standpoint that he never goes to the training room. He's so tough. Never seems to be slowed by the nicks and bruises. All kinds of paraphernalia here. Here we go, third down a yard. From the wishbone, straight ahead Wilson, and it looks as though he has enough for the first down and does. That is what is so tough. You're so concerned about Dupree, and Wilson with a quickness off the ball, you can hardly stop him on a play like that.
Oklahoma felt like coming into the ball game that if they were able to block the Nebraska tackles any year in the past that Oklahoma was able to have success against the tackles of Nebraska, they were able to have tremendous success running the football inside, and that's what they're trying to do, develop a running game with Wilson and Marcus inside the tackles.
Godowski playing in place of the injured Toby Williams. He's at the left tackle spot. On a first down, Phelps to throw. Sewell, the intended receiver, he's got it. 25-yard line, and that is a real reversal. A 36-yard completion. Oklahoma, not known for their passing game.
Steve Sewell has tremendous speed. Oklahoma gets you in a situation where you think run, run, run all day, and the defensive backs think run support. This time he gets behind the defensive back and goes right out of bounds. Another big play for Oklahoma. It has been, over the period of years, the big play in the passing game has always been a real question mark from Tom Osborne. He says, how do they do that year after year?
That's only 4 catches this year for Sewell, and only the 28th completion of the year for Phelps. Wilson. And Wilson inside the 20. He's to the 17-yard line. Kelly Phelps coming in here throwing 1 touchdown pass, 7 interceptions. And Tom Osborne probably saying, well, this is a typical game. The unexpected starting to happen already.
Coach Osborne's been known to put in the unexpected. He is a master at trickery on plays. They've got some of the craziest plays in the Nebraska offense that I think they do just for fun.
They have the Boomerooski.
Oh, yeah.
Barry Switzer, his team on the move with a chance now to take the lead for the first time. Second down, a yard to go from the 17. Phelps to Wilson. And Wilson appears to have and does have the first down inside the 15. So both teams being able thus far to capitalize on the turnovers. Nebraska took the fumble punt in, and now Oklahoma trying to take it in after the fumble by Roger Craig.
It's amazing, Gary. It is a classic game of keep away. Just keep the ball away from the other team's offense because nobody stopped anybody. They've stopped themselves.
This has been a very full first 15 minutes. We now have 14 seconds left in this first quarter. Wilson, Dupree, Sewell. Dupree on a first down, trying to turn the corner, and Bill Weber met him. Weber, a sophomore from here in Lincoln. They're going to lose some yardage on that play, and that is going to bring us to the close of this first quarter. A loss going back out to the 16-yard line. So we're all tied up, 7-all. A battle to move to Miami for the Orange Bowl, and the Big 8 Conference title will continue.
The gift that says you'd marry her all over again.
As we expected, it's been an offensive battle. We're on a 400-yard day, total offense at least, as they keep up this pace. Look at the possession time, how close it is. The team that's going to win is going to have more time of possession this ball game.
When's the last time Oklahoma's led in passing yardage? Second down, 12. Sewell in motion. Dupree cuts the other way. He's down to the 10 to the 9. Jeff Merrill, the nose guard, a senior from Huntsville, Alabama, and Dave Burke, a sophomore from Layton, Utah, over to make the stop. And so after losing yardage on the previous play, he gets some of it back in a hurry. Third down, still 5.
One stat that we knew that would be an important one would be the first down average yards per carry, what they were able to develop for first downs. Nebraska averaged 7.3 in the first quarter. Oklahoma 7.7 on the first down play. You don't have too many third and longs in that situation.
Well, they have now a third down and a little more than 5 to go. Phelps on the option, pitches back to Dupree. Dupree to the 10, and he's going to be short of the first down. He's swarmed under. A lot of red shirts on top of Dupree that time. And so it'll be a fourth down coming up for the Sooners. Earlier, you recall, on a fourth down, they got it. But this time, it's a lot further to go. It's going to be fourth down and 3.
Nebraska does as good a job as anybody in the country at defensing the option play or the wide play. In fact, that's probably one of the reasons Oklahoma came out of the wishbone, is their ability to play the option play, and especially out of the wishbone.
This will be a 25-yard field goal attempt. Keeling, who's 5 of 8 for the year. Keeling's kick is up, and it's good. And Oklahoma has taken the lead for the first time in this game, 10-7. Keeling giving the Sooners the lead. 13:43 to go until halftime.
Memories in the making tomorrow on CBS Sports.
Gary Bender, Steve Davis. 13 minutes, 43 seconds to go until halftime. This is the man, Keeling, who has given Oklahoma a 3-point lead. Irving Fryer and Jeff Smith go back now for the Huskers. 10-7, Oklahoma. Jeff Smith, sophomore from Wichita, out across the 15 to the 20, and hit hard at the 22-yard line. A 21-yard return by Smith, who the first time he touched a ball for Nebraska went 80 yards for a touchdown. And so for the first time in this game now, Nebraska's in a catch-up posture. Turner Gill will have Rozier coming back in. He left on that one play, and the turnover setting up that Nebraska goal, or I should say Oklahoma go-ahead field goal. Todd Brown split out, Fryer split out, Wilkening in the fullback spot, number 34, Jamie Williams the tight end. Brennigan snaps to Gill. Gill to throw. The catch is made by Fryer. And Fryer looks like he has enough for the first down. He's just across that forward stick at the 32-yard line. First down, Nebraska.
Irving Fryer is one of the most dangerous receivers in the conference. Watch him break outside. He's got a lot of cushion, nobody anywhere close. He turns it upfield like a good receiver, didn't step out of bounds, made more yards.
This man is the fastest Husker. He runs the 40 in 4.26. A second team All Big 8 selection. First down now from the 32. Gill to Wilkening. Wilkening struggles across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Wilkening out of Littleton, Colorado. Used primarily as a blocker, but he's an effective runner. He's averaged over 5 yards a carry. It'll bring up second down now, and still 7 yards to go. 75,000 on hand for this 63rd meeting. Somebody's going to Tempe, Arizona, and somebody's headed to Miami. And we'll soon know. Browns put to the bottom. Fryer in a wing position. Gill on 2nd and 7. Todd Brown. And Brown has the first down catch to the 48-yard line to White Drain over there. A 12-yard completion.
Todd Brown's a walk-on. He started ever since his sophomore year. One of the most intense pattern runners. Watch him. He breaks right on the corner. No one around. Oklahoma's giving him a lot of cushion. Todd's a real leader on this staff. Very much involved in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes and a real well-thought-of young man on the football team.
He has 61 catches in his career. 12 touchdowns in his career. He has been a fine performer for Tom Osborne. First down, Gill. Quick pass. Now that play, they can throw it, and they do. Crank, he's got it. Crank has dropped at the 15-yard line. Now what happens? It's a backward pass, and so it is not incomplete. And as an end result, Fryer picked it up. He threw it to Crink, and 37 yards later, they're at the 15-yard line.
Oh, I told you that Coach Osborne had something up the sleeve. Watch him bounce it. Good bounce pass. Gill to Craig. Watch him throw it to Crink, the tight end, going across the middle. Oklahoma was lax. You know, one thing is Nebraska really didn't make that big a deal of it. Just very nonchalantly threw it out there. Ah, I love it.
That's like that Illinois-Wisconsin game. Remember, Wisconsin attempted that and pulled it off. 37-yard gain. Here's Fryer. Fryer to the 10. Fryer's inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. That catch by Crink was quite a grab. That's only his 8th of the year. He had to really lunge to come up with it. There's the man that threw the pass. And this Nebraska team coming up with a new wrinkle, and I think everyone here would have gone away disappointed if Tom Osborne had tried something.
Well, he tried that one early in the second quarter. There'll be others.
Second down, the ball at the 9. Second down and 5. Brown split to the bottom of the screen. Gill pitches Rozier. Rozier to the 5. He's inside the 5, and it looks like he has a first and goal. Steve Haywood, the strong safety, made the tackle. First and goal for Nebraska. Both these teams moving the football. You'll never see better rushing teams than the two we're seeing today.
Gary, I think the 3 top offensive lines in the country are USC, Arkansas, and this Nebraska football team, and they really are controlling the line of scrimmage against Oklahoma right now.
First and goal at the 2-yard line now for Nebraska, trailing 10-7. Turner Gill to Wilkening. Touchdown.
Such pride in this offensive line of Nebraska. Watch them. It's kind of a inside tight trap play. Wilkening just goes right over the block of Dave Remington and Mandelko, the left guard. Here it again. Watch this offensive line. They charge. The good play right there on Flemings by Remington. Wilkening for the touchdown.
Remington, the 2-time Outland Trophy winner. You saw the strength of the big center that time. Seibel, point after attempt. Turner Gill to hold. Seibel's on the way with it. It's good. And it's now 14-10. Nebraska with the lead. An impressive 78-yard drive. 7 plays. 4-point lead for Nebraska.
Wichita Falls, Texas.
14-10 14-10. Nebraska has taken the lead for the second time in this game. They led 7-0, then trailed 10-7. And it hasn't gotten any warmer here, let me tell you. 29 degrees at kickoff time. Seidel will kick off. Sewell going back deep along with Fred Sims, a sophomore out of Tucson, back for the Oklahoma Sooners. Seidel gets it high, and this is going to be Sims, and he's going to have to down it there. And so they'll bring it out at the 20-yard line. That play earlier that was thrown and looked like it might be incomplete that Fryer threw down the field. We want to take a look at that again. I think it really is indicative of this series through the years.
What's surprising, Nebraska doesn't do all that great job of acting. They don't have to because Oklahoma's not playing that tight. The bounce pass to Craig. Watch this. He's just out there. Oh, he goes, Turner, why do you throw it in the dirt? And he says, oh, got to throw it. Down the field to Crink, the tight end, who's wide open just about.
That's a heck of a catch by Crink, you know?
It really is. They've always had excellent tight ends in Nebraska.
That was a 37-yard game. We're back to the live action now from the 20-yard line. Phelps giving off to Sims, who's now in there in place of Dupree. And Sims, a second-team All-Big 8 pick, across the 20 to the 22-yard line. Well, we have an outstanding football game coming your way tomorrow on CBS. Notre Dame and USC from the Coliseum. And at halftime, Lindsey Nelson will reminisce about that outstanding series. Also, the new coach, Ted Tollner, is taking over for John Robinson. And then in their own words, a man who people here in Nebraska love. Now athletic director, former head coach of the Huskers, Bob Devaney. And then the CBS Sports basketball poll. Give you the first look of the year as we start the basketball season tomorrow. Phelps giving off to Ledbetter, who's in there. So Ledbetter and Sims, the alternate people in the backfield now for Oklahoma. Very little going on that play. It's going to have third down.
In big games, it's always who's controlling the line of scrimmage. That's Chuck Thomas working on Jeff Merrill, number 74. It's a stand-up. That's Jeff Merrill winning that battle, the nose guard of Nebraska. If you stand the center up, if you hold him, if you don't let him penetrate, then the battle has been won by the defensive player.
Their defensive coordinator, Chuck McBride, said about Merrill, he's a great leader on the field. Doesn't say 2 words off the field, but he gets on the field and he's after him. Third down now. Virtually 8 yards to go. A give this time to Winters. Winters, the wingback, out to the 24, and that's all. It'll be fourth down. Steve McWhorter played that so well from the linebacking spot. Keeling will have to come in and kick this time.
Watch Nebraska's pursuit this time on defense. They've got the people out in front. They just string it out, make him go to the sidelines, let the sidelines work as an extra person.
Chet Winters, the senior from Jacksonville, Arkansas. High snap. Keeling kicks with a foot on the punch, without the foot on the placements. The catch is made, and Fryer in a little bit of traffic, not only from Oklahoma's standpoint, but he had a teammate there also. 39-yard kick by Keeling. That's the first time now that Oklahoma has not scored when they had the football.
When a business grows.
14-10 our score here. Nebraska leading Oklahoma, and Oklahoma leads this series. Last year, of course, Nebraska winning in Norman, 37-14, first time since 71. I want to correct something in just a moment. From the 38-yard line now, Dave Remington, and the Cornhuskers have the ball. Rozier out across the 45. He's to the 48-yard line, close to a first down. I said on that previous play that Keeling kicked without a foot. I meant to say, Steve, it was without his shoe. Anyway, he kicked it 39 yards. Rozier now has 68 yards on 10 carries. That will move the ball to the 49. It is a first down for Nebraska. Rozier, 251 yards earlier this year. He had 212 on another occasion and 204 in another game. That's the reason he's a Big 8 Conference Player of the Year. Gill to Wilkening. Wilkening to the 40, and does he steamroll his way to the 35. Another first down, and now Nebraska is really rolling. Steve Hayworth just got in the way of Wilkening after a 17-yard run.
The offensive line of Nebraska, watch what happens. They fold Danny Wilson, 98, inside. Wilkening's able to break into the secondary. He is not that flashy of a runner. He's consistent. He's not an Andre Franklin or Phil Bates of Nebraska passes to fullback, but he's a very steady player.
Most yardage he's had this year was 67 yards. Craig now has come in. He's back there along with Wokening. First down just inside the 35. Now they jump to the I. This is Craig. Craig, he's somersaulted up the 33-yard line. Roger Craig last year had a brilliant day, 102 yards against Oklahoma. But what a long senior year it's been for him. Scott Case on that play, a little bit shaken up. And we are going to have, I believe, we're going to look at him. He's up and walking around, but I don't believe he is right now sure of what he's doing out there. Trying to keep everybody warm. As we said, 29 degrees and the wind blowing around. They're going to take Case off. Case got up after that play, but he right now is a little shaky. Brian Hall will come in to replace him. It's going to bring up second down, virtually 10 yards to go after that fine tackle by Case. Case is 6'1", he weighs 180. He's out of Edmond, Oklahoma. Just had an excellent year. In fact, maybe the best player they have in the secondary. 75,000, that's the reason. Second down 10. Turner Gill, quarterback draw. And Gill to the 30-yard line. That'll bring up third down, still 5. Let's go back now on this draw and see what Remington did.
Two-time Outland Trophy winner Dave Remington, number 50, the center. They say he is addicted to weights. This time he's on Tom Clemens.
30-yard line.
Dave, don't hold him. Block him. He's a great player. Oklahoma's got probably the right approach against Remington. Is just one is they just want to try to neutralize him, keep him from having to go block the man and a half down the line of scrimmage or make the second, third block. Occupy his time.
Third down, and thus far Nebraska's 0 for 4 on third down. They got this one. First down catch. That was Fryer again, and Irving Fryer showing that outstanding athletic ability. Fryer coming in here with 19 catches.
They say Fryer is really a prototype of a receiver. 4'5" speed, 6 foot, 190 pounds. Good, solid athlete, strong. Just comes inside real quick. The ball had to be thrown quickly by Turner Gill. Completed pass.
Remember that Penn State game? What a play he made in that game. With a touchdown, he broke a couple of tackles to take it in. He's had some ankle problems this year. First down for the Huskers. Pitch, an end-around reverse. This is Fryer again to the 20, 15, and boy, he punishes a tackler as he takes it inside to the 13-yard line. Brian Hall met him there. Going to be apparently just short of the first down.
I think we're probably going to see about everything Nebraska has to throw at you. The reverse play, Fryer, number 27, comes around. Nobody's staying at home for Oklahoma. Good stick in there by Brian Hall. I tell you, if you don't hit him right, he'll knock you into the next area code. Watch it this time. This time a delayed step, good reverse play. Oklahoma sealed off inside. Watch this. Oh, boy, you could be in the next area code if you don't hit him right.
Brian Hall was in there in place of Case. Case now has come back in at that cornerback spot. Looking inside, touchdown.
From so many different angles. This time, Wilkening, the fullback, just bust in the middle. Oklahoma's worried, concerned about the outside play of Rozier and Craig. All of a sudden, the fullback, quick hitter in the middle, touchdown.
That's his second touchdown of the afternoon. Wilkening 5 for 42. Seibel, point after attempt on the way. And this Nebraska team now, their biggest lead of the game, 21-10. Outstanding diversification. Some new wrinkles. And Nebraska now with the 11-point lead.
In the world of electricity.
But as we told you, Doug Wilkening is considered to be the best blocking fullback in Tom Osborne's reign here, but somebody forgot to tell him that he could run the ball. He scored 2 touchdowns. A big day for the junior from Littleton, Colorado. 21-10, Nebraska with the lead. Sewell is back deep along with Fred Sims. This will be Sims. And he's having trouble hanging on the ball. That's the second time he's had to down it there. Let's look ahead to tomorrow, and I'll be journeying down to the Checker Dome in St. Louis to join Billy Packer to bring you the North Carolina-Missouri game, the defending NCAA champions. North Carolina, Sam Perkins, Michael Jordan, Matt Doherty. Missouri with Steve Stepanovich and John Sunvold. That should be an outstanding tip-off to our 1982-83 season. And at halftime, we'll be bringing you the CBS Coaches Bowl. Dupree, Wilson, the running backs. Thus far in this quarter, Oklahoma has only 11 yards in offense. Kelly Phelps pitches back. Dupree back in the ball game, and he brings it out to the 25. Steve McWhirter over to make the stop. To show you how dominating Nebraska's been in the second stanza, they have 124 yards, 7 first downs. On the other hand, look what's happened for Oklahoma, 11 yards and no first downs.
As we said, the ball game is the beginning. You have to control the football and the clock, and that time Nebraska truly, in that drive, dominated Oklahoma.
Turner Gill a little warmer because they now have a bigger lead. From the 25-yard line, second down, 5. Oklahoma needs to get something going. Up the middle, Wilson, and he is wrapped up by Dan Kroger. Excellent play by the All-Big 8 performer from Lincoln. So it comes to a third down now. As we've said before, Oklahoma cannot fall too far back. They're not considered to be a good catch-up football team. Coming in now is Paul Cluis at wide receiver with the play. He's a sophomore out of Oklahoma City. There is that defense. Tom Osborne said that it's just gotten better. We don't have the great speed that we'd like to have. Oklahoma now 3 of 6 on third downs. Phelps, he wants to throw. And the catch is made by Cluis, the man who checked in, and that'll be a first down. And how about that? Phelps has come out here and thrown the ball effectively. A 12-yard pickup on the play.
Kelly rolling to his left. Kelly Phelps, the quarterback, number 7. Cluis, 82. I don't know that Nebraska really respects the Oklahoma receivers because they haven't thrown. They give him a lot of cushion. He's in there where the ball has to be. Good throw and catch.
I tell you, Phelps has to have some confidence. He's thrown a couple of strikes. Cluis now with 9 catches for the year. The first down, moving it out to the 37-yard line. First down of this quarter. Phelps back. Back to Stanley Wilson. 40, 45, Wilson to the 50, 45, 40. The blocking for him to the 38. A little screen. Steve Williams threw a big block, pulling from the guard spot. That'll be a 26-yard pickup on the play, and now Oklahoma starting to come right back. Wilson's only caught 6 passes this year. As far as that goes, Oklahoma hasn't thrown that many completions this year. That's 30 for the year. Phelps coming in here completing only 38% of his passes, but his percentage is good today.
Oklahoma has not thrown to their backs, and part of the commitment was to try to give Nebraska something they haven't seen all year.
First down now at the 37 of Nebraska. Dupree doesn't have a lot of area to run, and he's inside the 35. There's a penalty flag at the 33. Bill Weber making the tackle. Weber, an academic All-Big 8 choice this year. And we'll wait for the preliminary signal from Vance Carlson.
We have a dead ball foul. Movement to the line of scrimmage, Oklahoma.
Sims now comes in. Dupree will check out. Look at the red here. I don't think you can get in this ballpark if you don't wear red. At halftime, we will have the highlights of this game. Penn State defeating Pittsburgh. That's 2 years in a row they defeated the Panthers. And as we said earlier, Penn State, the only team that defeated Nebraska, and you saw that game here on CBS. That was a game where Joe Paterno said there was enough glory in that game for everyone. Right now, after the penalty, it's first down, 15, the dead ball foul. What he meant by that is it occurred before the ball was snapped. So they penalized them 5 yards, and here we go, first and 15. Vance Carlson having a little mechanical problem there. Wilson, and now Sims in the backfield for OU. Johnny Fontenette, the tight end, split to the near side. Phelps will roll to the far side. Throwing. The catch is made by David Carter. Oklahoma has changed their roles here this afternoon. They've been forced to throw, and they're doing a job. That's 4 of 4 now for Phelps for 94 yards.
Kelly Phelps has really improved his throwing in about the last 3 weeks. Against Missouri, he threw the ball very little, but very effective. This time, roll out to the right. Nebraska gives David Carter a lot of cushion. Go up and get the football.
I tell you, this Oklahoma team is throwing the ball as well as you can throw it. Phelps, excellent job. Wilson Sims in the backfield. First down at the 22. Sewell in motion. Give to Sims. Sims breaks a tackle to the 20. He's inside to the 19-yard line. Sims is an outstanding running back in his own right. Second team all Big 8. Last year in the Sun Bowl, you might recall, a game that was on CBS, he had 181 yards. Is that where all those oranges are coming from that have been on the field? Dupree now comes back in. Sims checks out. The line of scrimmage, the 19-yard line. Second down, 7 yards to go. 2 men split to the bottom. Sewell and Carter. Phelps gives to Wilson instead, and Wilson close to the 15-yard line. Wade Kreiner, a junior from Battle Creek, Nebraska, who was a starter earlier in the year, making the stop from his defensive end spot. They're fighting it out in the trenches.
Paul Parker, number 62, right there working on Jeff Merrill. The line, watch Chuck Thomas, 73, standing him up. Nebraska's doing a little bit more reading. They're getting stood up a little bit. That time Oklahoma wins the battle in the offensive line.
Steve, it really changes up front when you block for the wishbone and then go to the I formation.
Of course, you don't have to make such a precision block in the I formation when you've got a great back behind you.
In motion is Sewell. Pitch to Dupree. Dupree lowers his head, and it's going to be 4th down. On a 3rd and a long 3, he may have gotten a yard, and that's all. Jeff Merrill met him in the hole. They call him the Marauder, and he really jammed up Oklahoma's chances there. And now Oklahoma's going to call for a timeout. The Sooners have 2 remaining. Both teams have used 1. And so with 3:13 to go until halftime, Oklahoma has a 4th down. Earlier on a 4th down, they went for it. The last time they had too far to go, couldn't. This time it's 4th down, 3. Kelly Phelps with that beard, he said he does that to antagonize his mother-in-law. Now, do you believe that? At halftime, Lindsey Nelson will reminisce about the outstanding tradition of that USC Notre Dame game. Bob Devaney, who won 2 national championships here in Nebraska. Boy, he had this Nebraska juggernaut going, and Tom Osborne took over from there. And well, I'm anxious to see what Billy Packer and Brent Musburger have come up with in that CBS Sports basketball poll. We have the coaches who vote each week, and that'll be a regular feature each week as we bring you NCAA basketball. And Ted Tollner, I'm anxious to meet him. He is the new coach now at USC, and Lindsey will visit with him, replacing John Robinson, who has stepped aside to move into another role. And John Robinson, we just wish you well. He's an outstanding man. Here we go. They're going for it on 4th and 3. Carter split out at the bottom of the screen. Wilson, Dupree, the running backs. Fake to Dupree. Phelps on the throw over Sewell. So Phelps misses his first pass of the afternoon. And at the 3:09 mark, Nebraska will take over. That's a tough pass for a right-hander rolling left. But Oklahoma did one thing, Steve. They established that they could still move the football. They gave their defense a rest, got some field position. And even though they trail 21-10, you got the feeling they've got a lot of fireworks left. Wilkening, Rozier in the backfield. Pryor split to the bottom. Rozier will make it out to about the 19-yard line, and that's all. Rick Bryan, the man who was voted the Big 8 Defensive Player of the Year. 72 yards, Rozier. Quite a story here about Rick Bryan. Nebraska tried to recruit him. He went down, and he lives on a farm in Oklahoma. And the coach that was down there trying to recruit him had to go out and shovel some hay and work in the yard. And he liked Nebraska, but he wanted to stay close to home. And Oklahoma's glad he did. Mike Weddington now in defensively, replacing Kevin Murphy for Oklahoma. 2nd down, 6. Turner Gill, and we have flags everywhere. It looked like Nebraska fired off prematurely. And so the discussion will go on. Oh, they were drawn on. Oklahoma guilty. A 5-yard penalty. Tom Osborne, look at him. What a career he's had here. Every team has finished ranked in the top 10 since he's been in Nebraska. 3 times the Big 8 Coach of the Year.
Dead ball foul on the defense. Contact on the line of scrimmage. Second down.
Second down after the penalty and a long yard to go. At halftime again. Stay with us. We'll be switching out to the Coliseum in Los Angeles. A game that will be coming your way tomorrow. Turner Gill, Rozier, across the 30 to the 35, first down. Darrell Goodlow, a junior from Maplewood, Missouri, made the stop. That's what he does to you. He makes you pay for it every time you come over and try to tackle him. 83 yards for Rozier.
Anytime you're looking and trying to describe what makes for an outstanding back is that you break through tacklers. Watch him as a tackle begins to come to him. He explodes through the tackle. The great backs in college football today and professional football are those that literally explode. Billy Sims had that ability. Tony Dorsett, Earl Campbell.
Oklahoma said they think Rozier is the best they've faced since Earl Campbell. Back to throw Turner Gill on first down. Almost picked off. Coming over was Hayworth on the play. The intended receiver was Todd Brown. Now Gill is 3 of 7 for 30 yards. That stops the clock with 1:45 and brings up second down. Substitutions coming in. Crink will come out. Jamie Williams replaces him. Now Kevin Murphy comes back in for Oklahoma defensively. Weddington comes out. Shane Swanson split out, along with Ricky Simmons. So we have 2 new wideouts on this play. 57 straight passes. This year he's thrown only 3 interceptions all year long. And end around to faked and keeping the ball, Rozier. And Rozier across the 45 to the 47. Excellent ball handling that time. Looked like they were going to the end around to Swanson. Instead up the middle, and Rozier is shaken up. Rozier is hurt, and he's going to help himself off the field. He leaves with 96 yards.
This time Rozier on the fake end around. That's Swanson, the wingback, coming back around this time. Let's see if we can figure out where he got hurt. Maybe right there on the tackle. Looked like Rick Bryan grabbed hold of his ankle there just briefly.
Roger Craig replaces him. First down. Gill with time. Now being chased by Slater. Murphy had a crack at him, and Goodlow's got him. Goodlow drops him at the 48-yard line, and now we approach a minute to go in this first half. 2 timeouts remaining for Nebraska, and they're going to use one right now. So at the 1:03 mark, Nebraska has a timeout. This crowd is 75,000, kind of settling back right now, realizing we may have quite a second half on our way.
Let's see if we can pick up where Mike Rozier might have got hurt. Let's see. My director says he might get kicked. Let's see. Right there. That's what I thought. One of the powerful backs. Now that he has been plagued with a sore ankle all week. There's a lot of question mark that he'd be here today. Now Oklahoma's got to contend against Roger Craig.
What did Tom Osborne said? He said Rozier might be ready to play when the band starts playing.
That's right.
And he was ready. 96 yards already in this first half. Second down coming up. Barry Switzer in his 10th year. Last year his team finishing 7-4-1. He is 8-2 in this series against Nebraska. One of those was a win in the Orange Bowl. Oh, hell! He's really been loose this week, hasn't he? He's come up and he says all the pressure's on Nebraska. We're just coming up. We're going to go down and have a taco in Tempe or a sand crab in Miami.
That's right. That's the way he's always been. I think people that watch Oklahoma, I remember when I played, we were pretty loose as a football team because of the character of our coach, but it was always fun to play in that environment. You never were up top.
Second down 10. 1 timeout remaining for the Huskers with 1:03 to go in the first half. Gill with time over the middle. Jamie Williams. Boy, he was exposed on that play as he went high. Double team effort in the secondary. And that's going to bring up third down. Turner Gill now 3 of 8 in the passing department.
Third down.
Gill's one of those guys, and we saw it earlier this year in the Penn State game, where he gets a hot hand, and all of a sudden things start to come together. There is Rozier, the man that we were isolating on a while ago. courageous football player out of Camden, New Jersey. Third down 10. Wilken and Craig in the backfield. Shane Swanson split out. Gill back on third down. Broken up, Scott Case. Case on the pass intended for Todd Brown. Case has been all over. Had to be taken off once on a hard hit. But he's back in, and that's going to bring up a punting situation now for Nebraska.
Watch Scott Case this time really deflects the ball away. Boy, Gill can throw the football. It's very difficult to find a college quarterback or high school quarterback that can both throw and run as effectively as a Turner Gill. Barry Switzer said he'd been a great wishbone quarterback.
He wished he had him. Hayworth goes back on this punt now from Grant Campbell. Oh, nice kick, very high. Fair catch is called for at the 15-yard line. Earlier they had Scott Case. This time Hayworth goes back, fields a 37-yard kick by Campbell, and with 44 seconds, Oklahoma has the football. They trail 21-10. We'll see if Switzer elects just to kind of put it behind him and go into the dressing room. Chet Winters will come in. Wilson, Dupree again at halftime. A package from Los Angeles featuring that USC Notre Dame game. A look at the coaches poll. In their own words, Bob Devaney. Bob, of course, in attendance at this game today. Kelly Phelps with 44 seconds is going for all of it. This is Cluas, intercepted. That's Alan Ridey. Ridey to the 40. He's to the 30. And he's out of bounds. And now Nebraska with 29 seconds at least will have a field goal opportunity. That surprises me a little bit that Oklahoma with that time remaining would come out and throw the football.
Ridey, number 18, the cornerback. They say can jump 39.5 inches flat-footed. Watch him this time go up for the pass. The ball is hung up in the air. 35-yard return here and sets Nebraska up. It's a big turnover that hopefully, at least from Barry Switzer's mind, doesn't cost Oklahoma. You try to make something happen, and all of a sudden you get some points from them.
Friday on the All-American strength team, meaning he can really lift the weights as well as that vertical leap. Here's Gill trying to capitalize on it on the first down, throwing for the corner. Out of bounds. Fryer didn't have it anyway, but it was very close. He was trying to stay in bounds. And Gill going for the 6 points that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Did you see Fryer run by the secondary? It looked like they were standing still on that play. What speed Fryer has. 23 seconds now left in the first half. Brown split out to the bottom. Wilken, Craig in the backfield. Now Quink, the tight end, jumps around. Turner Gill. He's hit as he releases the ball, and it's incomplete. He was really hit by Keith Stanberry. Stanberry, the free safety on a blitz, hit Gill from behind and hurried up that play. Stanberry was an outstanding performer this year, just a sophomore. He was the Big 8 Defensive Player of the Week against Kansas State earlier this year. Gill is 3 of 11 now for 30 yards. 5 misses in a row. Still 19 seconds. 1 timeout left for Nebraska, so they'll save that, and if they don't get it here, to go for a field goal. Brown, Fryer split to the bottom. Craig working in the backfield. A little delay. Craig gets it closer for the field goal attempt. Inside the 25 to the 24. Rick Bryan made the stop, and here's the final timeout now by Nebraska. Boy, that turnover setting up a very important field goal. Give them a 14-point lead instead of the 11-point.
But you just wonder if the Oklahoma coaches are second-guessing, trying to go and get more points and trying to get out of their environment, throwing the ball long, which is not the character of Oklahoma, turning the ball over, and then giving Nebraska additional opportunity to get points.
This will be the longest field goal that Seibel has hit this year. If he hits it, it's a 41-yard attempt. The longest he's had is 37 yards. Last year, he hit 139 yards. So this would be a career high for the senior from Vermillion, South Dakota. He's got to be used to this cold weather out of that South Dakota area. And now at the 24-yard line, he'll try to make it a 14-point lead for Nebraska. The Nebraska man, I'll tell you, I'd hate to be out there blowing a horn on a cold day like today, huh? You better warm those sousaphones up a little bit. No comment. Here we go. 41-yard attempt. Turner Gill to hold. 13 seconds left in the first half. His kick has got enough distance, and it is no good. He missed to the right. So the turnover does not cause Oklahoma to drop into the rear more. Seibel trying the 41-yarder. 9 seconds now left in this first half. So I'm sure Barry Switzer breathes a little easier after that play. Nebraska, the last time they won a national championship was in '71. That was when Bob Devaney was the coach. In '70 and '71, back-to-back titles.
One of the things that Nebraska's been able to do, because of such an explosive offense, they've usually been able to get a margin in points rather quickly, forcing teams out of their game plan. Oklahoma said they'd probably get behind early, but they were going to be patient and make Nebraska know that they're going to keep coming at them with the same thing that's brought them through the season.
And now Oklahoma's just going to kill the remaining time. And this first half is coming to a close here in Memorial Stadium. $75,000 have watched us go to the halfway mark of this game. Nebraska leads Oklahoma 21-10. Stay with us at halftime. A look ahead to tomorrow. Football and basketball, and a story on Bob Devaney. NCAA football on CBS, and this game, you get the feeling, is still very much up for grabs.
4 consecutive NCAA team titles, all of which are NCAA.
21-10. We'll be right back with our halftime activities after this word from your local station.
The past 6 years. Last year, he was awarded.
Tomorrow on CBS Sports, a great college football rivalry as the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame take on the USC Trojans. Memories in the making tomorrow on CBS Sports. This is
If ordinary lead-free gasolines are letting you down when it comes to power, performance, and mileage, give your car a lift with Amoco Super Lead-Free, the high-octane lead-free gasoline. For high power, high performance, good mileage. And when you pay cash, you save money. Give your car a lift with Amoco Super Lead-Free, high octane and high performance.
Make a note. Before the holidays, you must visit Nebraska Furniture Mart's Entertainment Center. You'll find fantastic savings on RCA TVs, video recorders, portable video cameras, and equipment. Nobody gives you more than RCA. All that RCA quality, but at Nebraska Furniture Mart's prices. The Entertainment Center is the ultimate solution to your TV, video, and stereo needs. And the ultimate solution for whatever you need for your home, Nebraska Furniture Mart, Omaha.
Members of the American Football Coaches Association strive. Members of the American Football Coaches Association strive to improve the college selection process for the high school athlete. When an NCAA college offers a student athlete a grant and aid, it may only include tuition and fees, room and board, and books. NCAA rules prohibit anything else. We published the NCAA guide for the college-bound student athlete explaining these basic rules. For a free copy, write Recruiting NCAA, Box 1906, Mission, Kansas 66201. The preceding message provided
21-10, our halftime score. We're halfway through the issue as to who goes to the Orange Bowl and who heads to the Fiesta Bowl and who comes out as the eventual Big 8 champions. The Oklahoma team on Bob Devaney, former coach, now athletic director at Nebraska.
After I'd been coaching high school ball for 14 years, Duffy Doherty called me up in August of the summer of 1953. He was then an assistant coach to Big E Munn, and he asked if I was interested in coming down and being a member of Michigan State coaching staff. Well, I thought prior to that time that I'd probably never get into college coaching, that I had reached the age where I better try to get to be in administration or stick with just high school coaching. So this break came when I was 37 years old. Duffy, I believe, brought me to the point where I found out through his careful tutoring that recruiting was the name of the game. I used to kind of sit around the office at Michigan State and look at football films, and he kind of told me one day, you know, that don't do much good unless you got the players to put in the films. The 1971 team had one tough ball game. The rest of them were over at the half. And the one tough game that we had was at Norman, Oklahoma, with the University of Oklahoma. We changed our pass defense. We went to a man-to-man defense, which we hadn't played all year because we thought we needed an extra man to play the wishbone offense, which was a big mistake. And Oklahoma, a team that killed most people on the ground, they almost beat us throwing the ball. At the end of that game, I felt we'd all had enough.
You want me to leave everything here and rush home to babysit?
Did come out on the right end of it, and it was one of the happiest moments, I'm sure, in the life of those players, and certainly in my life.
.10, our halftime score. Nebraska leading Oklahoma in the battle for the Oranges in Miami. And Steve Davis, I guess the only real surprise I had was Oklahoma throwing the ball so much.
Well, it is a surprise. I think part of it is that Nebraska was surprised also because Oklahoma's not had success throwing the football. And, of course, you get lulled to sleep against a good running team, as Oklahoma is. And so when you are able to complete the ball, I think Kelly's got a hot hand. I think Kelly's probably grinning a little bit under his breath right now, knowing that he's completed those passes.
Well, they may have to have that because they haven't been a good catch-up team.
No, they haven't been a good catch-up team. That's been the problem all season long. I'm impressed with Nebraska's awesomeness on offense. We knew they were very good, but when you see them and the ability, when a Rozier gets hurt and Roger Craig is able to come in the ball game and take up the slack, it really makes them for a great football team.
Rozier in that first half had 96 yards. Dupree, he was out there, but then he had some problems. He was shaken up a little bit. And let's get an update on just what the status is of both Dupree and Rozier. On the sidelines, here's Frank Herzog.
Gary, in a word, they're both banged up. Mike Rozier went off the field injured in that last Nebraska drive. He's got a severely sprained right ankle. He was in a great deal of pain over on the Nebraska bench. They tried to get him off the field before the halftime to get him into the dressing room. He could not walk on it. I would be amazed if he was able to come back and play in this second half. That's a big blow to Nebraska. Dupree, on the other hand, he got a slight twinge in his right knee when he scored Oklahoma's first touchdown. And it's kind of a nagging thing that has bothered him. The real problem for him is getting his breath. It's a byproduct of the bronchial pneumonia he suffered a week ago. He told me here on the Oklahoma bench, he just can't breathe. That's why they took him out that one series and let him rest and try to get some breath back. But that's a factor working against him. On top of that, Scott Case, the right cornerback for Oklahoma, had his bell rung. That injury was partially responsible for Nebraska getting their third touchdown. So injuries are playing a factor in the first half of this game, and they're going to be a factor in the second, Gary.
Well, Frank, I think Dupree is not used to the weather. Philadelphia, Mississippi, he didn't have those kind of problems health-wise.
Weather's probably one of the factors, but he only practiced 3 times the last 2 weeks. That's been the real factor of Marcus Dupree.
So we'll check their status. We're going to be back with more of the second half, but let's switch sports right now. Tomorrow, it's North Carolina against Missouri. Let's go to Brent Musburger now and Billy Packer as they set the stage with the CBS Coaches Poll.
The road to Albany.
So tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to that, the Checker Dome in St. Louis. Billy Packer and I will be there courtside to bring you that game. Sam Perkins against Stepanovic, Sunvold, Michael Jordan, the defending NCAA champion Tar Heels. I'll never forget that championship game against Georgetown, so we'll start out this 82-83 season with the Tar Heels, and we're just very pleased at CBS to be bringing you NCAA basketball once again. Well, in this first half, as you go back it looked like neither team was ever going to give up the football. They really started out well offensively.
Well, we said at the very beginning of the football game that it was going to be a game of keep away, and really in the first quarter it was just that. They split the difference in time of possession, but in the second quarter Nebraska began to show its dominance and its power. I think they were getting the edge in the offensive line and really just began to play well. And then the versatility of their offense to be able to throw, to run inside and outside, the fullback play, which is a surprise to Oklahoma.
You know, the offensive line, I guess we don't say enough about those guys in the trenches. Tom Osborne told us yesterday it's the best he's had.
Well, I said in the show that I felt like there are three excellent offensive line in the country. I think USC has a great one, Arkansas has a great one, and Nebraska. And I think they've proved it today against a good offensive or defensive front of Oklahoma.
Steve, let's look now at some of the highlights of this first half. This was Turner Gill. Now, this is a play where it looked like they had a defense, but look at his athletic ability.
Well, this is the thing that makes Turner Gill. He really has the ability to do this. He breaks outside, the pressure's to the outside, he sees the seam, just goes into the end zone for the touchdown.
That was a 14-yard run. It made 7-0 at that time. Oklahoma tied it up, and then Wilkening, who scored the first of his 2 touchdowns.
Generally, the fullback has not been overly effective against Oklahoma. They've been able to control him, but this Wilkening has really played well, and he scored 2 touchdowns. That's the first one.
The second one, after the 14-10 lead, here he goes again.
Again, watch the blocks inside. The good seal off of the Nebraska offensive line. Wilkening just breaks through the middle. There's nobody in the secondary to help. Everybody's thinking outside, and it's a touchdown.
That's what Rozier does to defenses. You forget to watch number 34, and he's taken advantage of it, scoring the 2 touchdowns in this first half of play. He was averaging over 5 yards a carry. And so the second half is just about ready to begin. Who's going to the Orange Bowl? Who's going to the Fiesta Bowl? We'll be back to bring you all that action here on CBS in just a moment.
CBS Sports coverage of today's game is sponsored by U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start. Toyota, who reminds you that it's a good feeling to buckle up for safety. And by Budweiser, for all you do, this Bud's for you.
The shadows start to lengthen here at Memorial Stadium as we begin the second half of play. Nebraska leading Oklahoma 21-10. Sewell and Sims back for the kick from this man, Kevin Seibel. Sims at the bottom of the screen, number 23. Seibel gets it very high. Sewell will bring it out for Oklahoma. And he is able to get to the 16, and that's all. Seibel has really done a good job kicking off today. He's gotten it high, and a couple of times they didn't get a return. Sims had trouble hanging on. Let's look now statistically at that first half of play.
If you will recall, the first quarter stats are very similar. Nebraska begins to take the edge in total yards. Oklahoma's 2 turnovers have cost them, and the 15-30 time of possession is another important point. As that stat begins to change, I really believe the winner of this football game will be the team that is able to have more time of possession than the other team.
Well, those turnovers have been costly, haven't they, though? Only one of them didn't really lead to a score, and that was the interception just before the end of the half. Winners, Wilson Dupree in the backfield. They have a momentary delay here as they had to get the clock set. Getting colder, I'm sure. It was 29 degrees at kickoff time. In motion now comes Winners. The pitch to Dupree. And Dupree is going to lose some yardage. Alan Lyday, who had an interception in the first half for the Cornhuskers, up to make the stop. He's out of South High School in Wichita. A loss back inside the 15 to the 14. Dupree, really, he's the kind of runner that you think about hitting up the middle and then darting to the outside. That time, not able to get outside. The rushing yardage in the first half.
Because of Nebraska's overall team speed and their pursuit, they're not overly fast on their defense, but they pursue very well. They get you running to the short side of the field, and they use the sidelines.
Phelps did a good job in that first half throwing the football, rolling out on 2nd down and 11. Cluess. Paul Cluess, the intended receiver at the 33-yard line. This is what Oklahoma didn't want to have to do, I'm sure, is play catch-up, have to throw the football, and they've come out doing that in the second half.
And as we said, Nebraska's done this to everyone except Penn State and Missouri on their schedule. The opponents they've had of the past, they get them out of their game plan early. They get an Oklahoma throwing the ball. They give them poor field position, and they get
ability to be able to defense. If you can defense a pass better when you know it's coming.
Strasburger's in there, defensive end in place of Tony Felici for Nebraska. 3rd down, 11. A counter to Dupree, out to the 20. He may go. Dupree, it's a foot race. The chase is on. Clark trying to catch him. Touchdown. 86 yards.
Dupree, watch him, the #1 recruited athlete out of high school, Philadelphia, Mississippi. Misdirection play to the outside. He gets a good block from 69, Brent Burks. Now it's a foot race. And that 4.5 speed, you're not going to catch him unless you've got some sort of angle on him. What a race.
Boy, Dupree, the longest run from the line of scrimmage this year for Oklahoma, 86 yards. The point after is good, and Oklahoma, just like that, is back in the football game. 13:57 to go in this 3rd quarter. It's now Nebraska 21, Oklahoma 17.
It's a funny feeling when you're 17. Just
86 yards, the 6th longest run in Oklahoma history. Marcus Dupree, the longest, was by Buck McPhail, the fullback for Oklahoma. In 1951, he went 96 yards. And Dupree and Oklahoma right back in this football game. 13:57 to go in the 3rd quarter. Dupree with that outstanding speed. All he needs to do is get those shoulders turned up the field, and it is something. Clark, who has pretty good speed, couldn't even come up close to him as he tried to have the angle to make the tackle. Fryer is back deep for Jeff Smith. Keeling, who added the point after, kicks off. This is kind of a knuckleball. And Fryer will have it. Fryer is able to bring it out to the 24-yard line. And boy, this crowd, I don't think they were back from eating their hot dogs and having their soft drinks. And all of a sudden, Dupree went 86 yards. This is some football game. And they're going to mark the ball at the 24. Nebraska looked like they had him where they wanted him. Had him throwing the football, backed up. With the great athletic ability of Dupree. And just remember, he's a freshman. Wilkening, Rozier in the backfield. Todd Brown split out. Turner Gill up the middle to Wilkening, who had those 2 touchdowns in the first half. He's out to the 27-28-yard line. Darrell Goodlow, who was a Big 8 Defensive Player of the Week on his game against Oklahoma State, made the stop. 2nd down, 7. You look at the passing, you would figure coming into this game, Gill would be more effective, but it's been the other way.
Well, the big plays, of course, you get a team like Nebraska lulled to sleep when you're on Oklahoma, not throwing the ball very often. He's thrown well.
Gene Swanson now checks in on a 2nd down, 7. Rozier, we didn't know whether he'd even be back, but he is. That shows how tough this guy is.
Oklahoma typically is a 7-man front, 4-deep secondary, or 50-type defense. They're showing some 8-man front. That's trying to get a little bit more strength, a little bit more bulk against the inside running game of Nebraska's fullback, who's hurt them in the first half.
3rd down now, 5 yards to go. The line of scrimmage, the 29. Swanson split out, Todd Brown split out. In this game, Nebraska's 1 of 6 on 3rd down conversions. Gill to Rozier, and he is hit. I mean, felt it. That's Thomas Benson, the linebacker out of Ardmore, Oklahoma Junior. They say he's on the edge of being a great player, and that was an outstanding play by number 38. And it's a kicking situation now, and you think maybe the momentum switched a little bit.
Well, Oklahoma's got a defense that knows how to play the option play, and they're great speed in their linebackers. You play good pursuit against the option play if you're going to stop it.
Oklahoma will send Hayworth back. Grant Campbell coming in here with a 41.4 average. 2nd team All-Big 8 will kick to this man Hayworth. And he did not hit it all that well. He's kicking it away from him. He's going to get a roll. Scott Case is going to take it. Case to the 40, 45, and Case to the 50-yard line. Oklahoma with good field position. That was a 41-yard kick that time, but Scott Case very alertly returned it 19 yards. Oklahoma will have the football. Well, that's what, from World War II, huh? Right. That shows you the outstanding tradition that Oklahoma's had, and they are fired up now. The last defensive stop, and their offense came on the field ready to go, and here comes Dupree again. Dupree across the 50. He gains maybe a yard. Steve McWhirter out of Fairfield, Iowa, a man who's had 2 knee operations, over to make the stop. They have both Dave Burke and Alan Lyday in the secondary now. Gain of a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Play information coming in through Paul Cluis. They had 2 tight ends in on that play, Johnny Fontenette and Bill Earthman. Now they come with Cluis split out at the top. Here's the man of the hour right now, especially this second half. Phelps gives up to Wilson. Wilson advances to the 46-yard line. Tom Godowski playing in place of the injured Toby Williams, senior from Fullerton, Nebraska. He started 4 games last year and pressed into starting service today. Cornflakes today, orange juice tomorrow, or tacos. I tell you what, not a bad situation to be able to go to either one of those bowls. A little bit warmer than it is here. 3rd down, 5 yards to go. Phelps, short pitch. That almost was dangerous, and Dupree will lose yardage. Davis, I'm sure you have been coached many times not to get that close to your trail man when you pitch the ball.
That's good, Gary. They lost pitch relationship. And you can play, a defensive player can actually play both the quarterback and the pitch man, because when they get that close, you can play them both, and that's what happens. Momentum's shifting again a little bit.
Nebraska defensively doing the job. Keeling will kick. Going back now will be Fryer along with Jeff Smith. They stand just outside the 10-yard line. Perfect snap. Big rush. Oh, almost got it. We're not going to have roughing the kicker, even though Keeling is down. Keeling was hit by Felici. Oklahoma cannot save it in. It's going to be a touchback, and Keeling is getting up very shaky. And Oklahoma is upset. They think he should have roughing the kicker.
Let's watch Mike Keeling. Already has a sore ankle. Let's watch what happens from the outside. Is that Felici?
Yes, it is.
He was actually blocked into him. Why they didn't call the penalty that time? Brian Hall pushed him into him, and he's got to keep him away from the kicker. It's 21-17, 10:48 to go in the 3rd quarter. We're not going away. I know you won't either.
Sat down with Mom, talked to Dad, can't get it.
Rex into the game. Swanson checks out. Brown split to the bottom of the screen. Turner Gill. He's keeping the ball, pitches off to Fryer, and Fryer will be hammered out of bounds at the 28. He's short of the 1st down. 3rd down coming up. Well, we've had a dandy here, and tomorrow should be very, very well played. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, USC. That's John Robinson's last game as the head coach of the Trojans. So that Notre Dame team has been in some real photo finishes this year. 3rd down. A yard to go. Remember, Nebraska's 1 of 7 on 3rd down conversions, and this time Wilkins got it. Benson makes the tackle at the 35. There's Dupree. He created some fireworks in the second half. Things were looking very dark for the Sooners until he took off, and 86 yards later went across the goal line. Wilkening now has 52 yards on 7 carries. He's been a real big story today in this game. 2 touchdowns. 1st down from the 35. Bill taking a lot of time, wants to throw, looking Brown's way. He's going to keep it. And he's caught from behind by Shipp. That shows you the speed of Jackie Shipp coming from the far side of the field from that linebacking spot. And Gill looked like he had big running yardage. Instead, he picks up 3 yards on the play. 2nd down, 7. Shipp and Benson. What a combination they've been. And they have another linebacker, Jerry Sanders, a senior out of Garland, Texas. They consider him the same as the starter. And both those guys, Shipp and Benson, will be back. They're juniors. These 2 teams will be outstanding next year. 2nd and 7. Gill pitches. Craig, 45, and he's close to the 1st down. Let's see if he got it. He knocked the chain down. There is a penalty flag back at the 40-yard line. Roger Craig getting an opportunity, and that time running very well. It's going to be holding, and that'll bring it back. So Nebraska, rather than having the first down at the 45, and believe it or not, Mike Swanson, our statistician, points out that's the first penalty of the game against Nebraska.
We have holding on the offense. Second down.
Second down. It'll be 14 yards to go from the 31-yard line. There are the penalties. As we mentioned, the first. That shows you how well coached these teams are in a big game like this. Jeff Smith now is in the backfield. Craig is out of there. Wokening still the fullback. Hill to throw. That is Fryer. He had it for a moment. That would have been enough for the first down. Eddie been able to hang on at the 44-yard line. Case and Dwight Drain defending for Oklahoma.
Third down, 14. Ball is on the 31.
We're not going to see Fryer drop those very often. That incompletion now is 6 straight passes that Gill hasn't been able to connect on. That stops the clock with 8:53 to go. Third quarter. Rozier now has checked back in. Gill. There's the niftiness of Gill, and Gill scrambled to the 30. He's got a block, 35, 40. He's short of the first down. Oh, did he take a shot? Kevin Murphy, and there's a penalty flag there. Kevin Murphy clotheslined him on the sideline, and that may be what the penalty's about. There he is, number 39, out of Plano, Texas. Gill just did an unbelievable job that time, bending it back, picking up a sideline block. And that will keep the Nebraska drive going. Well, you look at that thing on the blackboard, Steve, and you say we defensed it perfectly, but how can you defense that kind of athletic ability?
Nebraska, as I said earlier, they've never had a quarterback that was able to put so much pressure on a defense as Turner Gill, because when you can be able to throw the balls effectively but run, really makes for a winning combination quarterback spot. He really is the epitome of what Nebraska wants in a quarterback.
We have a personal foul. Oklahoma, first down.
I'll tell you, Murphy, in all fairness to him, he was just flying through the air and, of course, got up too high on that tackle. So the personal foul gives Nebraska the first down at the 43-yard line. 8:42 to go, third quarter. Swanson back in. Craig is in now, along with Wokening. They continue to use 3 men at that I-back spot. Gill to Craig. Craig to the 40. Craig backs across the 35. He's to the 30. 25, first down. An 18-yard run by Roger Craig. And Barry Switzer is probably wondering if they can stop any one of these 3 tailbacks.
What power of Roger Craig. Watch him take on the block. That's Dwight Drain. Goes right through. A great runner goes through a tackler. And Roger Craig goes 10, 12 yards beyond that supposed effort at tackling him.
Craig has watched Rozier so much, he's picked up where he left off. Mark Shalene now is coming at fullback. Inside handoff to Craig, but Oklahoma is there this time at the 24-yard line. The depth that this team has, and that's the reason he can average almost 400 yards a game. We have a man shaken up now, coming off the field. That is Tom Flemons. He's the backup nose guard. He's out of Altus, Oklahoma, sophomore. He and John Blake alternate there, and he comes out. Second down, 9. 21-17, Nebraska with the lead. Turner Gill. Complete. That's the tight end again, Crink. He's made 2 outstanding catches. That will move it to the 15. Now, I don't believe he got the first down. He's just short of it. A 7-yard pickup on the play. Crink is on that All-American strength team. They consider him physically the strongest tight end they've ever had at Nebraska. He's only 6'4", 225, but he can really bench him. They say that Dave Remington's had a great influence on this team as far as the weightlifting is concerned. Discipline that they've had. Third down, less than a yard. This is the 10th play of this drive that started from the Nebraska 20-yard line. Shalene still in at fullback. He's got the ball, and he has a first down. Mark Chalene out of Waterloo, Nebraska, junior. This is real ball control. And that will set it up just inside the 14-yard line. Pryor coming in. Frank will check out of the game. The winner of this game to the Orange Bowl in LSU. The loser? Well, I don't know yet who's going to be in that Fiesta Bowl. In motion, Pryor. Wait a minute. We got a little mix-up there, folks. Now they're back the line properly. Gill rolling that way. Open. Brown to the 3. Scott Case, touchdown saving tackle. And that'll be a 1st and goal now for Nebraska.
Oklahoma felt like to slow down the Nebraska running game. They would have to go a little bit more man in the secondary. That's what happens this time. Scott Case is well off Todd Brown. The split in gives him too much cushion. Big play, 1st and goal for Nebraska.
They load up on the goal line now as Danny Wilson comes in, a junior from Sherman, Texas, an extra man up front. 1st and goal just inside the 3-yard line. Turner Gill. Pitch back to Craig. Touchdown.
They say that Roger Craig is one of the most unselfish players on this football team. Takes the pitch, he looks inside. Oklahoma's there, gets a great block. That looked like it was from, well, I couldn't tell who made the block.
That was an 80-yard drive, 12 plays. Craig taking it in. That's his 4th touchdown of the year. And he's had a frustrating senior year, but he's salving some of those wounds now. Seibel point after it. So Nebraska, after being shocked by that 86-yard touchdown run, comes back and relentlessly moves the ball. This man taking it in. Nebraska now leads it 28-17. All right, ready to kick off now. Nebraska bumping the lead to a 28-17 advantage. Roger Craig able to tie that drive in. Now let's look at that touchdown run.
What's the block of number 68, Mike Mendelko? Number 68 will be in the right portion of your screen. Watch him. He takes out Scott Case and Thomas Benson and puts Roger Craig in the end zone. That's who I could not identify. Excellent block. Linemen get that kind of credit. They say he may be one of the best guards ever to play at Nebraska.
Mendelko out of Lexington, Nebraska. That big penalty, though, you look back on that drive, really hurt Oklahoma. There's Roger Craig out of Davenport. Davenport, Iowa, played at Central High School there. Seibel to kick off from the 40-yard line. Back deep, Sewell and Sims. Oklahoma again, an uphill struggle with 6:25 to go in this 3rd quarter. Sims, he has this one. Out to the 15. Breaks it out to the 20-21. Good second effort by Sims. Oklahoma now will set it up there. Well, when you have a Dupree, you're in any football game. That's the most impressive drive maybe of the day. They did a little bit of everything, but that personal foul against Murphy was the thing that really hurt Oklahoma. They had him stopped on a 3rd down. Dave Remington. How many goal line situations has he thrown a big block to get somebody in? Look at the arms on that guy. 290 pounds. Sims, Wilson in the backfield. Chet Winters goes in motion. Here comes Sims, and he's going nowhere. He is stuffed that time by Tony Felici, the All-Big 8 performer, and Dan Kroger. Both of them met him in the hole. He may have gotten a yard, and that's all. It'll be 2nd down, 9. Play now coming through, David Carter.
I wonder where Marcus Dupree is.
Well, as we found out from Frank Herzog, he had that bronchitis problem. They may have to play him in spurts. Sims is a very capable back. But Dupree is just unbelievable. Play action. Kelly Phelps going deep. Carter. We have a penalty flag, not near the ball, but way back at the 45-yard line. The penalty flag is on the near side of the field. Barry Switzer unhappy about something out there. You think maybe Nebraska had too many people on the field? The official was counting faces. I believe that's what it is. They have 12 men on the field. No wonder they didn't complete it. And that's what it is. They still have 12. They're getting a man off now. Chris Van Norman just ran off the field. So evidently he was the extra man.
That's one defense Oklahoma's not played most of the year, so.
We have illegal participation, 12 men on the field on defense. First down, Oklahoma.
Boy, that really helps the Sooners. That'll set it up first down at the 38-yard line. 5:36 to go, third quarter.
It's kind of a neat penalty. Illegal participation.
Up the middle, Stanley Wilson. Wilson across the 40 to the 41. We mentioned Wilson had a big day last year, 164 yards. But today he's been hemmed in pretty well. Tomorrow, NCAA basketball will be back on CBS. The North Carolina Tar Heels. Boy, they have some outstanding freshmen coming into that game. Missouri, who's won 3 straight Big 8 basketball championships. Stepanovich, Sam Perkins. That'll be a battle underneath, and that all begins tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern. Runners goes in motion. Phelps to Sims. Sims across the 45 to the 46-yard line. That'll be a couple of yards short of the first down. Third down coming up. Felici again on the stop.
When the coaches describe Freddie Sims, the second-team I-back for Oklahoma, number 23, they say he really is the most exciting runner that they've got in the backfield. He's extremely difficult to tackle. He's a very good player. Watch Felici, number 46, a big playability of that defensive end. Watch him react to the play. Good inside, closes it down, knows nothing's going outside of him, makes the tackle. Tony Felici, 46.
Third down now, less than a yard. Phelps on the option, and he's got it. Oh, he fumbled the ball, but I believe it's been blown dead. It has. But Phelps that time, it looked like he wasn't going to get turned up the field. Good effort by the senior. Moves the ball across the 50. And now into the Nebraska end. And Oklahoma with another first down. You know, really, Kelly Phelps has really been maligned a lot. A lot of people have said that he hasn't measured up to the tradition of Oklahoma quarterbacks. But today, he's played very well.
He's making the right decision. He's not giving Oklahoma the bad play.
First down, just inside the 50 of Nebraska. Phelps throwing. It's complete to Chet Winters, and Winters to the 40-yard line, and that may be another first down. Brett Clark over to make the stop. Near the conclusion of this game, and every one of our NCAA telecasts, we select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Players, and Chevrolet will donate a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of each player's school to assist qualified students in all chosen academic disciplines. And I'm not even going to, at this moment, begin to vote. You're going to have to wait. There's a lot of football left.
A lot of football left to be played.
We're going to measure here to see if that was a first down. Chet Winters with a grab. You know, that's only his second catch of the year. He is out of Jacksonville. He's been slowed by a knee and ankle problem. And so they bring the sticks completely across the field, and what do they got? First down. One thing you got to say about Oklahoma, they've been down twice in this game by 11 points. They cut it down to 21-17. Now it's 28-17, and they're on the march again. 12 men on the field aided them. On the 40. First down. Look at this first down. That's pretty even, really. Oklahoma getting the better of it. Phelps to Sims. Sims inside the 35 to the 30, and look at him run with the football. That's another first down. Brett Clark made the stop. Well, we talked about the depth of Nebraska at running back, and now here's this guy doing a job, a 14-yard run.
Freddie's really strong for his size. 5'10", 210, a sophomore from Arizona. Watch him. He gets inside the kind of the crowd, uses the block, bounces outside.
Later, I was fired.
But before that, he saw much more.
15-yard run from the 27, first down. Phelps giving up the middle. That's Wilson. Wilson to the 23-yard line. You can see he's disgusted. He hasn't been able to break one of those quick hitters. McWhirter made Who's on the day for Wilson?
You've got to really compliment the Oklahoma offensive coaches to have the real guts to come in a ball game and throw and do something that's out of character with what they've done all year long. And it takes some confidence to be able to stand back there and throw when you've lived with the ability of running.
Wilson, Sims in the backfield, Lewis split out. Here's Sims again. Sims to the 20, Sims to the 15. And he's down to the 14, and that's another first down. Dave Burke made the stop. So from the 14-yard line, Oklahoma not doing anything fancy right now. They're just firing off the line. They're getting remarkable play from the inside of Williams, Thomas, Parker, Burks, Hubble up front. David Carter comes split to the top of the screen. Just inside the 14-yard line, the Sooners. Phelps on the option. Pitches to Sims. Sims to the 10. Oh, is he hit? He had his helmet knocked off. His helmet was knocked off. Brett Clark hitting, and if that doesn't epitomize how physical this game is.
Gary, on the play that you were talking about where Stanley Wilson appeared to be a little frustrated when he got blocked inside or tackled inside early, they saw something outside. Nebraska was stunning. They gave them the corner. Watch Freddie Sims get this tackle right head on head. There's nothing wrong with that kind of tackle. That's fierce football. Oh. This is one of the most physical football games that Oklahoma and Nebraska play all year. The Missouri game is another one, but this game is extremely physical.
Second down now. A long 6 to go. The rushing yardage for the day. Here's Sims again, and this time he may have gotten a yard. Damn Kroger there. Boy, to take a hit like that, put your chin strap, snap it back on, and go back again, that takes a little courage. But Sims has been the real bread and butter man on this drive. Inside the 10-yard line, a big third down. Third and still 6 to go.
We're seeing the two-class teams of the Big 8 Conference go at each other. We've had a few penalties in the ball game, clean hitting, and very fierce competitive football game.
They've done well on third downs. Wilson, Sims in the backfield. Phelps, he's going to keep it, and Phelps is going to be a yard short. It's going to be fourth down. He's to the 5. They need to get to the 3.5 to have a first and goal. Dave Burke made the stop. Now, do you settle for a field goal, or do you go for it?
I think the way Oklahoma's been able to control on this drive, I think that you've got to go get a point. You've got almost getting to the fourth quarter. You've got to make something happen. I doubt they'll try to kick the field goal.
Well, we have a timeout by Oklahoma. That's their first. Phelps will come to the near sideline. 5'10", 185. And so while they discuss the situation, let's take this opportunity to look ahead to Sunday. The NFL today, of course, will kick it off. Brent, Irv, Phyllis, and Jimmy the Greek. And then look at the football. Boy, the Packers are rolling. They've won 3. The Jets won big last week. Philadelphia lost a toughie, but what a game that always is. The Redskins against the Eagles. New Orleans, Rodgers with a big day last week. Chicago won their first under Mike Ditka. And the Cardinals against Atlanta. Atlanta winning a game against Los Angeles. Be sure now to check the local listings in your area for the game on CBS. We understand that Irv Cross has a feature on the Packers, and Phyllis George will visit with Joe Gibbs, very fine coach of the Washington Redskins.
When talking to the offensive coaches over the past week at Oklahoma, they felt like when they got in this kind of situation that normally they would try to go to the option play, what they have gotten to the big games with. Let's see if they do it.
1 for 2 on fourth downs, and here we go. Fourth down, a long yard. Phelps on the option. And he's going to make it. He's got a first and goal. Again, I can't say enough for the performance of Kelly Phelps. Cam Kroger made the stop. That was sheer determination. It looked like, Steve, he was stringing it out and couldn't get turned up the field.
When you're an option quarterback, you look for that seam. That time, Nebraska had him going the right direction, running parallel to line of scrimmage, but Kelly's got 4.5 speed in the 40. He saw the little seam, the crack, and just fell right into it and got the big first down for Oklahoma.
First and goal at the 1. Ken Graber now checks in. Tim Holbrook also coming in defensively for Nebraska. 28-17, Nebraska with a lead. 30 seconds left in this third quarter. Give to Wilson. Touchdown. Stanley Wilson again, goes airborne. And all of a sudden, it's 28-23.
Oh, I love this game. Wishbone, down close to the goal line, give you more blocking ability, more bulk up front. Stanley uses his jumping ability and just goes over the middle. Good blocks by Parker, Hubble, Thomas on that left side.
Keeling now, point after attempt. As you look there for a moment at the replay, and Keeling adds the point after.
Straight ahead blocking. That's Paul Parker, 62. That's the exchange by Kelly Phelps. Just over the top. Good line surge by Oklahoma. Stuckey, number 75. The tackle was there, but you've got to hit him in midair to stop him.
So it's now 28-24 with 30 seconds left in this quarter. Oklahoma in this quarter over 135 yards rushing. Make it exact, 139. Okay, tomorrow we'll be switching hats, going to another sport. We're really excited about our second year of coverage here on CBS, North Carolina, Missouri. 1 o'clock Eastern. That's from the Checker Dome in St. Louis. And then following that, out to the Los Angeles Coliseum. Lindsey Nelson and Pat Hayden as the Trojans of USC against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. They've had some big plays in that series. Remember Anthony Davis?
Hi, Mom and Dad.
Wilson with that touchdown. 30 seconds still left, and we've had a lot of football here this afternoon, and still another quarter to go.
It's just a matter of what kind of sand's going to get in between your toes. That from Tempe or Miami? Simple.
Pryor and Smith will go back. Keeling will kick off for Oklahoma. Keeling going to be a little bit short with this one. Smith will take it to the 5. Out to the 20, and he advances it out to the 25-yard line. So Nebraska still very much in peril in this game. They've twice bumped it to an 11-point lead, only to have it cut back down, and that's where it is now, a 4-point difference. And with 24 seconds in this quarter, the third, they'll start from the 25-yard line. Wokening will come in, and Craig is in there. Todd Brown and Irving Fryer. When you come into big games, you have to have the backup people play well to win them. And they've gotten that, both sides. The Craigs and the Sims. Gill, hand to Craig. Craig to the 30. Who was he hit there? That was Rick Bryan, that shoestring tackle. Little inside scissor action. And Craig brings it out to the 31, possibly the 32-yard line. It'll bring up second down. And that's going to be the last play of this third quarter as you see the time remaining. 15 minutes left in this classic. They call it a shootout. And if you've been watching today, you can see why. The end of the third quarter, the score, Nebraska 28, Oklahoma 24. We'll be back with fourth quarter action after a message and a word from your local station.
Well, moms and dads, the world around.
CBS Sports coverage of today's game is sponsored by Mr. Goodwrench and General Motors Parts. Mazda and the full line of sophisticated Mazda products. And by Owens Corning Fiberglass Corporation, makers of Owens Corning's pink fiberglass insulation.
Well, not only do you have to tighten up the chin straps, you got to tighten up the helmet the way they've been hitting in this game. 15 minutes left to go in it. Gary Bender, Steve Davis, NCAA football here on CBS. Nebraska, second down. 4 yards to go. They have the ball at their own 31-yard line. They lead by 4. Craig Wokening in the backfield. Turner Gill straight back to Craig. He hurdles. And that might be enough. The ball loose, but it's been blown dead. He went airborne that time. Let's look and show you how close this game is.
Look at the total yards, 347, 349, and time of possession. We can't give you a closer football game than that one. That is so indicative of the kind of game we've had all day today.
And the offense is on track. It's the way it's been going all year. They're playing up to those standards that they've had all season.
And this has got to be, this game where it is right now has to be in Oklahoma's favor. They've got Nebraska not having to press a little bit more than they're accustomed to.
That run by Craig was a first down. Brings it out to the 36-yard line. Remington snaps to Gill. Gill pitches back to Craig. Craig, a They'll get maybe a yard. Hayworth coming up. They have Hayworth, Drain, Stanberry, and Case playing in the secondary. A guy that started a lot, Daryl Sanji. You mean it's warmer? I don't believe that. I asked for that information. I thought it was getting colder, but the game is heating it up, I guess. But Sanji not playing. He's had some back trouble, so they've had to make some changes. Now coming in, Brian Hall defensively in the secondary. Hayworth checks out. Second down, 9. Brown split to the bottom of the screen. Gill straight ahead. Wilkening short of the 40, so it's a third down. Still a good 6 yards to go. Tell you, they'll need a few hugs to stay warm in this place today. Remington was one of 3 juniors to be an Outland Trophy winner. The other 2 did not repeat. But he did, and very deservedly so. Third down, 6. Fryer, Wilkening, Craig in the backfield now for Nebraska. That's Fryer in motion. Turner Gill with time. What a catch. What a catch by Fryer, but he may not have the first down. Let's see. It would be 4th and inches. That is some catch. And let's see where they're going to spot it. Steve, I don't believe they have the first down. Fryer got up very slowly on the play. He hit so hard after he caught the pass.
The catch is what's impressive. Pretty good coverage by Oklahoma, but watch Irving Fryer, number 27, the wingback of Nebraska, extend his body, get out in front of it, and make an excellent catch.
The trainers were coming across the field to help him. They thought he was hurt, but he's up. Let's see if they got it. Oh, they're going to be short. They are short, I believe. It's going to be 4th down. 4th down. Now what do? You lead by 4. You have the ball just across the 45-yard line with 13:42 left in the game. Remember this, though. Nebraska is 2 of 2 on 4th down conversions. 2 tight ends. Williams and Crink will come in. John Blake checks in at nose guard for Oklahoma. Boy, you can't get much closer than that, huh?
The important thing here that Oklahoma must realize is you may give them the first down, but don't give them the touchdown. Sometimes you press so hard to keep them away from making a 1st and 10, they bust a long play on you.
The officials waiting now till everything is ready to go. The chains are back in place. 4th down coming up. Lots of time left in this game. 13:42. Turner Gill sneaks it. He didn't need much, and it's a good thing because he didn't get very much, but he got enough. Oklahoma's indicating they held, but where the linesman is standing now, there's no question he's got the first down. It's a good thing they didn't need very much on that play. Look at this.
They've got both nose guards, Tom Flemings and number 90, John Blake, inside on Remington. They're just going right over Remington's block. Good line effort surged by Mandelko and Steinkühler, and Turner uses his good leg strength and moves ahead forward.
Flying in there was Drain. It was a first down, and it took all of 290 pounds that Remington had to get it, as he went right behind the All-American.
One compliment to Dave Remington. The coaches, you know, he's gotten so much publicity, and the coaches say that he has been able to handle that publicity so very, very well.
Now we understand there was a face mask violation on that pileup. So that will move the ball. Nebraska had it anyway. They're going to have to step off, what, 5? It can be 5, 10, or 15. It's going to be a 5-yarder. But they had the first down anyway, but add 5 yards to it. You can have, depending on how flagrant it is, a 5 or a 10 or a 15-yard penalty. But it's 5 this time, and the ball now at the 48 of Oklahoma. It's a dead ball foul, so it's 1st and 5. So it occurred after the play was over. Dave Remington now checking with Turner Gill. He calls those different blocking schemes up front for the Cornhuskers. Turner Gill to Craig. Craig, 45. He'll spin to the 43. Jackie Shipp there wraps him up. That's close to another first down. He only needed 5 on that play. Let's go back inside again and look at him.
It's Tom Flemings, number 93, on Remington. Let's watch Dave, get your hands inside the shoulders. I hate to point out those kind of things, but you want to keep your hands inside. He holds up his lineman, keeps him away from the play, and makes sure that he doesn't make the tackle.
We're going to measure again to see if they have a first down. We have a lot of measurements on this drive. If not, it would be second down and inches. And they're short again. Very, very close. So Oklahoma now has maybe a down to play around with. Second down, a matter of inches to go. Frank will come in. So they'll have a pair of tight ends in for Nebraska. 13:09 left in this one. 28-24. Nebraska leading Oklahoma. On 2 occasions in this game, it was an 11-point lead. Whittled down now to 4. The biggest play, an 86-yard touchdown run by Marcus Dupree. It's been a game that's just as physical as we thought it would be. Then maybe some to add to that. Roger Craig now jumping into the wing position. Wilkening, the only running back set behind Turner Gill. Second down, they're going for the big play, not the first down. Open. Williams, and it hit the back of Drain. Well, we've been wondering all this time why Marcus Dupree hasn't been playing so much since that long touchdown run of 86 yards. Frank Herzog is on the sideline. And Frank, what is the story? All right, Frank, we'll check with you in just a moment. We'll get that microphone ready to go. It's third down, inches. Now they go for the first down. Craig, he'll stumble forward and get it at the 41-yard line. Roger Craig advancing to the 41. Kevin Murphy made the stop for Oklahoma. 12:50 now left. Time starting to be important. Nebraska with a sustained drive. Up front, Tice, Mandelko, Remington, Steinkuhler, Kwapik. Steinkuhler, just the junior, and Tom Osborne said he might be the best of the whole group. He did not win all Big 8, but wait till next year. Wilkening to the 40-yard line. Now the ball is loose, and Oklahoma's recovered it. Somehow, in all that melee, the ball popped loose. And Oklahoma with a big turnover. They have the ball at the 40, their 40-yard line.
Watch inside this time. See if we can see what happens on the fumble. Wilkening, number 34, the fullback. There's the block by Remington. Where's the ball? There's the ball, upper right.
He did quite good.
Yep.
Now Dupree is back in. Dupree has come back in. Coming up with it, you see Murphy, number 39. Big turnover. That's where those replays come in because you could not see the ball come loose. 2 turnovers each. Ball now at the 39. So Dupree back in, and he'll be joined there by Wilson and Steve Sewell. Sewell in motion. Phelps to Dupree. He wants to throw. Nobody open. Sewell was the intended receiver, but he was covered very well by Brent Clark. Dan Kroger, and Weber buries him for a loss on the play. That play just didn't develop at all.
1, 2, 3, 4. Mike check. Frank Herzog on the sideline.
So the loss will go back now to the 33.5-yard line. Second down, 16 yards to go. The interesting thing about that play, Steve, was that Sewell had gone out of bounds. He couldn't even get back to the playing field for any kind of a pass.
Nebraska did a good job of forcing Dupree, stringing it out, forcing him to the sidelines.
Second and 16. Dupree across the 35, 40, and there's how dangerous he is. It looks like you have him wrapped up, and then he gets additional yardage. Out to the 41, Dave Burke over to make the stop. But they're still about 10 yards, maybe 9 yards away from a first down. Doug Herman playing a little bit now, one of the juniors from Custer, South Dakota. He's been hurt a lot, had an arthroscopic knee. They've been bringing him in intermittently in that defensive forward wall. Third down, 9. Split out at the top is Kluis. Dupree and Wilson in the backfield. Third down, 9. Phelps needs a completion. He's got it, and it's a first down catch by Steve Sewell across the 50 to the 49. An 11-yard strike. And again, you can't say enough. Phelps has come through some big plays, and that was a big one there.
Kelly Phelps came in completing only 37.5% of his passes. He had thrown only 1 touchdown passes. He had had 7 interceptions coming in, and he has just been splendid at throwing in critical situations for Oklahoma.
You know, his past career high is 106 yards passing. He has 104 today. Inside the 50, here comes Wilson. Wilson advances to the 46. We're going to correct that stat. Phelps already has a new high. He has 115 yards. So this is a personal best for the quarterback of Oklahoma. Remington, he'd like to get his hands on the ball again. Second down, 9 yards to go. There's the stat of 115. He saved his best day for a very important afternoon. Phelps, second and 9. Dupree inside the 45, dragging tacklers inside the 40. And that is close to another first down. Brett Clark able to stop him. You know what that reminds me of? Is the run that Billy Sims made earlier in this shootout. Now let's check with Frank Herzog on the sideline again.
Gary, you can see Dupree is all right, but Mike Rozier on the other sideline is a very depressed football player. I talked to him a few minutes ago. He said, there's no way I can plant on this bad ankle. I'm out of the game. I'm not going to play the rest of the afternoon. Back to you.
Thank you, Frank. I know it's cold down there. It's 144 yards on the day now for Dupree on 22 carries. Third down, a yard to go. And Phelps sneaking, and it looks like he's got the first down. Phelps advancing to the 38-yard line. 28-24. Nebraska with the lead. Oklahoma moving the football. Are they going to have to measure? No, it is a first down. Phelps in this game has to be considered for an MVP, as does Dupree. The ball at the 38. Oklahoma down by 4. That's a big 4 because the field goal wouldn't do it. There's Dupree. He's out again. And coming in, replacing him will be Sims. Sims and Wilson and Sewell in the backfield. Phelps gives off to Wilson. Inside the 35 to the 34. There's Doug Herman again on the stop. Second down coming up. I've never seen so much in the way of memorabilia and paraphernalia sold around the ballpark as here. They come early, they stay late, and they have a brand of football here that's something to see. At the 34, second down, still almost 7 yards to go, a long 6. Phelps, Sims, and Sims maybe got a yard. Dave Burke, who was a running back, and then they've moved him to a defensive back in the fall, filling very well. He's number 33. So it's a decision now for Barry Switzer. Third down and still 6 yards to go. Coming in is Carter with the play. Oh, and this crowd is sensing something now. Phelps, play action to Sims. Time to throw. Open over the middle. He had it for a moment and couldn't hang on. Carter. That ball was beautifully thrown by Phelps. It looked like Carter might have had it for an instant.
I know Oklahoma fans got to be proud of Kelly Phelps because he has been much maligned by Oklahoma fans. Right across the middle, David Carter's right there. You can't blame him, but it's a great tackle, the great stick. Who was covering there, Gary? See that.
A timeout is called. We'll look at it again as we're going to have a break in the action here with 8 minutes, 27 seconds left to go. It's fourth down when we return for Oklahoma.
I figure once ought to be enough to fix any car.
Oklahoma asks for the timeout. They have the football at the 34-yard line of Nebraska. They trail by 4, 28-24, 8:27 to go in this game, and here they go. 4th down, 6. OU is 2 of 3 on 4th down thus far today. Phelps rolling. Incomplete. Close, intended receiver. Kelly Phelps did his job. He couldn't quite get it going all the way, though, into the end zone. That pass incomplete to Cluess. There's still lots of time left. 8 minutes, 21 seconds to be exact. The ball now at the line of scrimmage, the 34, after they've run out of downs. Shane Swanson in. He's split out. Turner Gill to Craig. Craig goes up and over the 45 to the 43-yard line. Rick Bryan, who's made a lot of tackles. There's Phelps. It's hard to believe he hasn't had better statistics this year passing-wise, the way he's been going. Is that close?
373 to 375. We told you that we had two talented offenses.
Fryer now has come back in. Swanson has checked out. Brown is split along with Fryer to the bottom of the screen. 2nd down, 7. Gill to Craig. Craig will be short of the 40, and it'll bring 3rd down, still 4 to go. Roger Craig straightened up. There's Barry Switzer. Is he excited now? There's been a couple of just picture-perfect tackles by Oklahoma. There's another example of it. Craig couldn't even lean forward. He was straight and straight up.
We've seen tackles, excellent tackles on both sides of the field. At times, we've also seen some poor ones because of the great backs in the game. But it has been a fiercely competitive football game. Oh.
Tom Osborne has to be pleased the way his offense has played. 3rd down, now 5. Oklahoma trying to hold to the 7-16 mark. Gill. Fryer. He's open. Fryer dropped at the 40-yard line. A big collision there. Scott Case, who was shaken up earlier, made a blocking tackle at the 40-yard line. He's getting up slowly. A 21-yard completion.
There he is, Irving Fryer, number 27. He's at the wing back on the right side. He's going to come across underneath. Tight end drives him deep. He has the pass. Watch this. Play by Scott Case, taking out. He's the only man that can make the tackle.
Boy, he has taken a couple of jolts today. They're taking him off again. Case is coming off the field. Brian Hall replaces him. What courage this young man has shown. I think that's the 3rd time today he's come off the field, and the catch moves the ball to the 40-yard line. That shows you the explosiveness of Irving Fryer out of Mount Holly, New Jersey. He just ignited when he caught the ball. From the 40-yard line now, Nebraska. They lead 28-24. Just inside 7 minutes left in the game. Looked like somebody might have fired off. They did. There'll be a flag on Nebraska. The left side of the Cornhusker line left before the ball was snapped. And so Nebraska will have to back up. One of the few mistakes they've made today.
Looked like Mandelko, the left guard, jumped off prematurely.
So it'll be 1st and 15 from the 45. Well, it's getting close to Christmas time. Tom Osborne would like to have for a Christmas present the Big 8 championship. Fryer. Brown split out. Top and the bottom of the screen. On a 1st and 15. Gill, he's going to run it. Gill to the 40 and takes a shot there by Goodlow. Good reaction that time by Goodlow getting over there. They contain him, and it's going to be at the 40, about the original line of scrimmage. There's Case. I don't know if he's going to remember all this football game as many times as he's been hit. Very seldom, Steve, does Oklahoma bring a junior college player in. And he has come in and really done a job. They're thinking about recruiting a junior college quarterback, I understand. 2nd down, 10 for Nebraska. Ryer in motion. Gill pitch to Craig. He's in trouble. And Oklahoma's there, and it's third down now, long yardage. Danny Wilson from Sherman, Texas, number 98 there. Still 6:16 left in the game. It'll be 3rd and 12. You know, sometimes when you get into these classics, you think, what's left? What drama is left? Well, they're finding some more today. Some new plays, some new tension. Swanson, Brown split out, 3rd down 12. Gill in trouble, and he's going to be dumped for a loss. That's the first sack. That's Rick Bryan. Rick Bryan, you can see why he won the honors he did this year. And now it's 4th down.
Rick Bryan, the Defensive Player of the Year in the Big 8 Conference. Watch him over here on the right side of your screen. Rick Bryan sees him. He's going to wrap him up. Make sure you make a good tackle. Country boy from Coweta.
Boy, all that pitching of hay gave him the strength he needed that time to get Gill down. And now the kick will be Grant Campbell. Hayworth will go back for Oklahoma. And now we're going to have a timeout by Oklahoma, and they have no timeouts left. Oklahoma uses their 3rd and final timeout of this second half of play.
Does your house have
relationships with concerned students?
As we come back, Grant Campbell hits one a little bit off the side of his foot. In fact, he did not get a good kick at all for Nebraska. And it's marked at the 34-yard line. That's a 14-yard kick. A very inopportune time as far as Campbell is concerned. Let's look at it.
Watch Oklahoma really putting the pressure on him. He felt the pressure of Oklahoma rushing and rushed his punt a little bit too quick.
Delosier, number 24 for Oklahoma, came through and almost got a piece of it. From the 34-yard line, now with 5:08 left in this game. Oklahoma down by 4. 4 points away. Well, they need 5 to get to the Orange Bowl. Kelly Phelps on 1st down, wanting to throw. Cluis. Cluis tried to make the catch at the 46.
What has to be a real concern of Oklahoma is in that punt situation, they cost themselves their last timeout. I think there was a little bit of confusion on what Oklahoma wanted to do regarding the punt situation. Maybe too many men on the field, but anyway, it cost them. Now with 5:03 left to go in the ball game, they don't have any timeouts.
Dupree, of course, back on the field. As Frank Herzog mentioned, Rozier not expected back. The line of scrimmage, the 34. 2nd and 10. Carter comes split to the bottom. There's the timeout story we were telling you about. Dupree, flag on the play. Dupree, and another flag on the play around the point of impact, which would indicate maybe a face mask violation. But we had a penalty flag preceding that. You see the time remaining, 4:58. Well, we're going to weed this one out and see what's happened. Vance Carlson, his last game as an official, and he's had a dandy to officiate today. The legal procedure against Oklahoma. Well, I guess there was just one flag. There was 2 thrown, but one early and one late.
Dead ball foul. Movement in the line of scrimmage on the offense. The play doesn't count. It's 2nd down.
So that second flag following the dead ball.
Look on the right side. Let's see what... Watch the hands. Well...
Ooh. Let's see what mattered was the penalty before the snap of the ball, so it doesn't affect the play at all. 2nd down, 15. End around reverse to Sewell. He's got an alley. He's to the 35, the 40, and he's going to be short of the 1st down. Rob Stuckey, I should say, shaken up a little bit. He's coming off the field. He was hit on a crack back block type thing when he tried to turn and get to that reverse. Boy, he really got belted. Paul Parker's the guy that threw the block. So they're going to be a yard short of the first down.
When you got such an explosive offense, Oklahoma was in a 2nd and 15. Now it's 3rd and 1.
And with 4:51 left, you see the vital statistics in this game. On the 43, Fontanet and Erkman come in, 2 tight ends. Dupree, he may or may not have it. McWhirter straightens him up. It's either 4th and inches or a first down just short of the 45. Dupree realizing what kind of a classic this is, and he's got 3 more years in which to get involved with this Nebraska team. And they're going to measure.
It is so difficult for young people that are playing high school football to realize the difference of what we've got in college football.
He's hurting. Dupree is shaken up a little bit. He took a real shot, and he's gutting it up a little bit now. The indication is they're short. So it's 4th down for Oklahoma. Dupree's going to come off the field. Here comes Sims.
Because when you're in high school, you just don't realize the intensity, the type of practice player that you have to be. One of the criticisms of Marcus, and there are very few, is that he is not a good practice player. He only practiced about once a week when he was at Philadelphia, Mississippi, because he was such a dominating player.
You know what he did in high school? He ran back 8 kickoffs, 7 of them went for touchdowns his senior year. Dupree with 144 yards, averaging 6.3 per carry. We'll be back in just a moment.
Who envisioned work.
They're looking over Marcus Dupree. He is out of the game. We've come to a 4th down inches for Oklahoma. Fred Sims has replaced him. Let's see how Dupree got hurt.
Goes right into the line. Nebraska's got several people right there. Let's see, that's a good head-on-head tackle.
That's McWhirter, number 45.
Linebacker stands him up. I think Marcus is telling him, he said, I've had enough on this play.
So here we go from the 44. 4th down inches with 4:44 left in the game. Nebraska leads it 28-24. Boy, we've had a lot of 4th downs today. Phelps. Ellie Phelps only needed a matter of inches, and he got more than that. He's across the 45, and Oklahoma's still alive. The Sooners move the chains. We'd have to check with Mike Swanson. It seems as though we've had more people going after it on 4th down than any game we've had this year. Marcus Dupree now comes back in. They don't play football like this in Philadelphia, Mississippi. To check the stat, 8 times today these teams have gone for it on 4th down. OU 5, Nebraska 3 times. Phelps on a first down, throw back. Almost intercepted. Intended receiver was Cluis. And the man who almost came up with was Van Norman. Chris Van Norman, a senior from Minden, Nebraska. That was one of those plays where Van Norman, it must have seemed like an eternity for the ball to get there because he was properly placed. So Phelps will now have a 2nd and 10 from the 46. Cluis comes out. Fontanet will come in. 2 tight ends. Carter split out. Give to Dupree. And Dupree gets a yard, and that's all, and it's a 3rd down coming up. As we now have 4 minutes left in the game. Scott Strasburger made the stop for Nebraska. So Dupree and Oklahoma. What a tough drive this is. You're playing on the road. A sellout for the 124th consecutive time.
You've got to give Nebraska so much credit on defense. They have extended Oklahoma on this drive. They've gotten them into long situations. They've taken them to the 4th down and short play. And it has been Nebraska that's made the difference.
2 wideouts this time. Carter and Cluis in. Phelps rolling on a 3rd down. Pass interference. Lyday collided with Cluis. Oklahoma will have it at the 40, inside the 40-yard line.
Watch it again. Alan Lyday, number 18. He's going to bump Paul Cluis prematurely. Watch it. Right there, he bumps him. That's the
before he had a chance to get the ball.
First down.
First down now at the 39. He tried so desperately not to make contact, but could not avoid it. Look at it.
Here it is again, right here. That's a bump. Good call by the officials.
Again, that ball thrown very well by Phelps. From the 39, now with 3:25 left. This is for the Orange Bowl, right here, this drive. Phelps, Dupree to the 35. Gain of 3. Tom Godowski making the stop for Nebraska. Well, you know, you talked about that 1971 game, the game they called the game of the century, which eventually was won by Nebraska 35-31. Bob Devaney, the coach then. This game is going to be marked up there along the best. Carter, and now Philip Shores come in as wide receiver. Helps on a 2nd down and 7. Intended for Shores. I don't believe that pattern was run correctly. Shores was where Phelps didn't expect him to be. And that's going to go to another 3rd down. Tom Osborne somehow hoping the defense can shut it off here and go to Miami. Phelps 6 of 15, 115 yards. He's now missed 5 in a row. Barry Switzer, he'd like to get back to the Orange Bowl. His team was in the Sun Bowl last year. 3rd down, 6. Close and Carter, both in at the wideouts. Close to the top of the screen. There's the time left. Phelps throwing. Sewell, the intended receiver. So it's another 4th down for Oklahoma. Man shaken up is Doug Herman for Nebraska. We said he's had that knee injury. He had to have arthroscopic surgery. He's down now inside the 40-yard line. So 4th down coming up. 6 yards to go. 2 minutes, 47 seconds left. A field goal is of no importance. You got to go for 6. 28-24 our count. And we'll be back to bring you the remaining 2:47. Nebraska leading by 4. There's the time, and there's the score, and it's 4th down. 4th and 6 for Oklahoma at the 36 of Nebraska. Carter and Close split out. Wilson, Dupree, the running backs. Phelps rolling out. Throw back. Incomplete. Nebraska now 2:42 away from going to the Orange Bowl. That pass intended for Carter. The way it stands now, Nebraska only needs one more timeout, or I should say one more 1st down to put this game away because Oklahoma doesn't have any timeouts left. Orange is on the field, so they have to hold up play momentarily.
Good coverage by Dave Burke, number 33 on the backside.
Burke has played well in this game. Boy, it's going to be tough to select the MVP. Here's Wilkening. Wilkening protecting the ball after earlier fumbling. I want to take this opportunity, Steve, to mention some people who, during this Thanksgiving week, have worked so hard. Our executive producer, Kevin O'Malley, our producer, Jim Silman, our director, Larry Cavallina, associate producer, Bob Rowe, our field technical manager, Stu Meyer, Lance Barrow and Frank Cherkinian Jr., our broadcast associates. Our technical director is Bob Burnham, and our audio man is Tom Duffy. Thank you, gentlemen. It's been some game. And our thanks to our statistician, Mike Swanson, who will head with me to St. Louis, and our spotter, Mike Barry, Steve Barry. I'll get it in a minute. Here is Gill. Gill across the 40, out to the 44-yard line. And they're getting ready now to get on the field here. They're rimming the field as this Nebraska partisan crowd will see their team return to the Orange Bowl. .135. There they are. McGill to Craig, and Craig will be short of the 45, and he'll be short of the first down. It was third down, a long yard to go. It'll be fourth down now with 1:12. This still isn't over. If Oklahoma could hold here, somehow get the football. Total offense in this game, Nebraska now has gone over 400 yards. 403. Oklahoma 395. Nebraska will be in no hurry here, but they're going to have to kick the ball as we approach a minute to go. Hayward goes back for the punt. Campbell to kick. Big rush. Hayworth on the fly, but he makes the fair catch at the 28-yard line. So Oklahoma at the 28. A 28-yard kick. The Sooners have no timeouts left. They have 46 seconds. They need a miracle somehow to pull this one out.
Would your kid like to get behind the wheel of a 10
I've ever tasted?
Enjoy the award-winning taste of Andre Extra Dry.
46 seconds. Barry Switzer has left somehow to pull this game out. Sewell, Carter, and Pruitt split out for the Sooners. Phelps. Incomplete. Pruitt's the intended receiver. Flying over there was Burke again. Dave Burke, number 33, is just a sophomore, but he's been all over the place. That stops the clock with 41 seconds. Here's our Chevrolet players of the game. Oklahoma, Kelly Phelps. Phelps had 6 of 18, 115 yards. He rushed for 19. And Doug Wilkening, the fullback for the Cornhuskers, 58 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Phelps rolling. Intended for Philip Shores. And that comes to a third down. So the Chevrolet players of the game, a check in the amount of $1,000 will be donated by Chevrolet to each school's general scholarship fund to further assist students in all chosen fields of endeavor. From the 28-yard line, third down 10. Lewis, Carter split out. To the bottom comes Carter. Phelps trying to set up the screen. It's intercepted. Picked off. That is Strasburger. He's dropped. It looks like he might be short. He's at the 1-yard line, but you'll never know. We may never find him. Down, and we still have 26 seconds left in this game. This reminds me of last week. We did an Ohio State-Michigan game, and there were 5 or 6 seconds left, and Tom Osborne's upset. He wants this game to be concluded. Boy, look at the intensity on that man's face. I get a feeling, Steve, that this is becoming a very big problem at the end of games. We've had an awful lot of this happening here late in the season.
Well, it's unfortunate that fans, and this happens all over the place, not just in Nebraska. It's unfortunate the fans don't have the class of the players.
What it amounts to is the ball is at the 1-yard line. That was a 21-yard interception returned by Scott Strasburger. What a thrill for this young sophomore who was second on the team in sacks.
Nebraska, 15-yard. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
So that's against the crowd. That's a 15-yard penalty against Nebraska fans.
And it cost them an opportunity. I mean, they probably wouldn't have scored anyway, or they probably, knowing Coach Osborne, probably would not have forced the ball into the end zone. But still, in a big game, had they had the chance and they were behind, it would have made a lot of difference. He's played his heart out.
Yes, he has, and the teammates consoling him. They'll be on their way to the Fiesta Bowl. What a representation they will give the Big 8, both these teams. 3 teams from the Big 8 Conference this year going to postseason action. So the 15-yard penalty moves it out to the 16. Congratulations to this man. We spent some time with him this week, a very class man. Hastings College outstanding performer, replacing Bob Devanier, which is a tough act to follow. And they're starting to come back on the field, but this time they'll just let the clock expire. And so Nebraska has won the Big 8 championship. They are on their way to the Orange Bowl. Oklahoma finishes 8-3. They will go to the Fiesta Bowl. What a football game this has been. This is Gary Bender for Steve Davis saying goodbye from Memorial Stadium, where the final score, Nebraska.
The movie is that it just is a lot of motion and noise, lacking the humanity and the wit that I've always...
Not a bad month of December. For the second year in a row, the Huskers will be going to the Orange Bowl. Nebraska earned the return trip by beating Oklahoma 28-24 to win the Big 8 championship. Bob Cullinan has all the highlights from Lincoln.
This chilly day after Thanksgiving is the official opening of the Christmas season, and Oklahoma presents Nebraska with the first gift in Lincoln today. Grant Campbell punts, the Sooners fumble, Dean Steinkuhl recovers. Nebraska ball at the Oklahoma